Oh, I tell her get low, gon' rock with me. You gon' mess around now and get a shopping spree. I'm now in your possession like apostrophe. Oh, enough with all the talking, I just told her say less and do more, do more, do more, do more. Oh, I tell her do more, do more, do more, do more. Go ahead, set the mood right, dirty like a food fight. You been working all day, load it up in 2 nights. Do more, do more, do more, do more. Oh, I tell her, and she gon' work that round. I'ma mess around and drown when she drop that down. No more phone me blowing up, I like not right now. Oh, I swear that she in next the way she work that mouth. Whoa, automatic cause she move, she be cousin static. I be straight up like an addict, might be coming at it. Now I gotta have it, had enough with all the moves, yeah, move here. Ooh, let me grab it now, I'm on 1 year. Now I'm not done yet, told her wait right here. I'll be back one sec, this is just time out, this is not no way. Go and grab that friend, and you know what's next stage. You been rockin' with it all-star, baby, and I know you coming early like a five-star, baby. Packing out the seat, this ain't no hostile, baby, and they know me in the city like a mob star. I tell her get low, gon' rock with me. You gon' mess around now and get a shopping spree. I'm now in your possession like apostrophe. Oh, enough with all the talking, I just told her say less and do more, do more, do more, do more. Oh, I tell her do more, do more, do more, do more. Go ahead, set the mood right, dirty like a food fight. You been working all day, load it up in 2 nights. Do more, do more, do more, do more. Oh, I tell her,
Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace, you gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience under pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. About my chicken and its rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the rip and we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing you. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas, you gon' see the...
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f*** is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Space showing for me.
Yeah.
Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Mafia, we were looking at some key targets, not only on Bitcoin, but also XRP. Now, I almost called Bitcoin 100K. Bitcoin has hit that $100,000 level that we were looking at yesterday, guys. And I'm not saying, listen, you should never use anybody's thumbnails as a trade signal. But we do. When we put those thumbnails up, guys, and we put a price target, we are pretty confident in those numbers. So I think the thumbnail said 100K incoming yesterday. And here we are with Bitcoin pushing through $100,000. Hitting that final target. Now the question is, are we going to be able to break through and potentially pump up to 104,000, or are we going to see a rejection? Because as you guys know, this where we've just come up to is a very, very key level of resistance. We've come up to a key value area high as well as a key golden pocket that could be an area to get a big rejection from. So I'm going to give you guys all the sauce. We'll talk about those key levels and those potential next targets that we will be looking at on Bitcoin and XRP getting the breakout above our key level of resistance or doorway to higher prices, getting that big push to the upside through that last gap that we had ahead of us. And now we are potentially headed towards those next targets on XRP as well. So hopefully, shout out to the XRP army. Hopefully we can see this thing pop off and rip up into price discovery. We are not far away from the all-time high. And if we break that all-time high, guys, we have some saucy price targets for XRP. So shout out to anybody holding XRP out there. And shout out to anybody holding Bitcoin as well. This thing's been going sideways. Finally got a little bit of volatility. But shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you guys all for tuning in and hanging out with us here on the Frankie Candles live stream. Shout out to Dr. Crimson's girlfriend. What is going on? Shouting out Billy in the chat. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Had a blast on Billy Goattail's X space or Twitter space last night. Had a really good time chatting with other creators. And yeah, shout out to Crypto Billy, man. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's always a blast coming on your Twitter spaces. And if you guys have not checked him out, every Tuesday at 9 p.m., Billy Goattails, go, I would say watch, but go listen to that X space. And we got Hollywood in the chat. What is going on? Welcome in. We got Mads and Lizzie in the chat. What is up? We got Div X-Ray. Shout out to you, bro. We got Gen Z in the chat. Said send it to 0 already. Shout out to Gen Z. We'll take a look at the bearish case here and how low we could potentially go. But, I want to talk about hitting this key target at $100,000 and what it could be. What it could mean for the future here moving into the rest of the week and potentially next week. Let's see. Is 1,000 XRP top 10%? Shout out to Self-Built Crypto. Is 1,000 XRP top 10%? I'm not 100% sure if I understand that, but welcome in, bro. Good to see you in here. We got Edward Diamond Hands in the chat. Welcome in. We got Derelict. Got Jesse, the Like Police, guys. Show our mods some love in the chat. You guys know who they are. We got Dave Digital, Tyler Durden, Crypto Billy. We got Crypto Anon. We got Dave Digital. I said Dave Digital. We got Rob the Crypto Snob, guys. Show the mods some love. They help us out endlessly with this YouTube channel. We appreciate them, so show them some love in the chat. But yeah, guys, with all that being said, 3,500 is top 10%. Why does this not make sense to me? Shout out to Crypto Monkey. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into the price action here. There's Rob. What is going on, Rob? We got K Diggity and Lucho in the chat as well. But guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts here. We're going to break down those next key levels, talk about how we got here and where we are likely to go next. Let's get into it. So here we are, guys, on the Bitcoin chart. And as you guys know, actually, let me pull up our major range here. We'll take a look at that main range that we've been watching for quite some time. And yes, guys, we have taken that long position from the bottom here at that value area low. And yesterday, well, not yesterday, but we saw that quick move. Once you hold above this value area low, guys, you're looking for that push up into the POC. This is kind of where we were hanging out yesterday, saying if we can break above this key level, it could potentially send us up into our next key level of resistance, which was sitting between two very, very key levels of resistance, obviously, right here. Let me go ahead and zoom in here so I can grab that actual wick. But you guys know that our next key target to the upside, I'll get rid of this position here real quick. If we take a look at this, guys, once you break above that POC, you are going to be looking for a move into that value area high of the range. And what happened, right? We had the Golden Pocket POC confluence. That was that first major level of resistance. And I'm not going to lie, guys, even before we came up to this target, we saw all of our targets hit here, all based off volume profiles. Even if we go ahead, let me grab this stuff and drag it into the main folder, whoops, so I can hide it. But you guys know we were looking at this local range where we had major levels of resistance. We came up to our first level. Once we broke above that, that's where we were looking up for the next target. And then, yesterday we were looking for those major targets, right? Those higher time frame targets, looking to fill this volume profile in full. And look at what we have here, guys. We broke above that POC, making it very likely that we would be able to see that push into our 786 / value area high, which is why we look at this as a zone of resistance. We actually push up here. If you watch the market update from earlier today, we pushed up to this 786 level, and we just barely front ran it, where I was talking about how oftentimes, guys, when you front run these 786s, they do like to get tapped physically, right? We front ran it there. We didn't actually touch it, and we started getting this pullback, but I did not FOMO short as I was waiting for a potential push into that actual 786 to take it out. And what happens? And we also had that key target above of the value area high, and we have now seen that full rotation here. We did front run that value area high by like just a couple of pennies, but if I adjust this line here, I'm sure we probably touched it. But you get that full rotation of the range, guys, and I cannot say this enough. The volume profiles will absolutely change your life if you learn how to use them. Looking for the longs at the lows and the shorts at the highs. You look for those full rotations of values, get above that high, look to get back into the range, get stuck in here. Next likely place for price to go is that POC. And then once you lose that POC, you look for that continuation down to the low for a beautiful short opportunity where you could finally look for new long positions at that value area low of the range, which we did wind up taking and riding it all the way up here. I'll try to pull that trade up in a second. That was up about $4,000 now, riding from the low to the high, and we just simply look, and I know the CPI report, all this stuff, right? But regardless of the news, guys, we just simply look at the charts in terms of these volume profiles. I don't care what the news is. I don't care what the FUD is. I don't care what the bullish news is, right? We just trade the charts. It does not matter, in my opinion, what the news is saying, unless we get some kind of crazy black swan event. And hopefully, anyone who's been tuning into this live stream, any Mafia member that's been here for quite some time, seeing what we've been looking at on these live streams, playing out in full based off the volume profiles, gives you some confidence to actually pull some triggers on some trades and understand how to use these value areas to your benefit to make some money trading Bitcoin. Let's talk about this, right? So as you guys know, right, if we are going to, as we were looking at this as kind of our next major target once we got above this golden pocket POC, and again, you can see, once you break that POC, look at that pop up into our direct target here, guys. This is not, I'm not some kind of crazy wizard, right? I know a lot of people think we have a crystal ball, which we definitely do not have. Don't come search my house, guys. But anyway, it really just has everything to do with the volume profile, guys. Anybody can do this. I'm nothing special, right? I've spent a lot of time learning from my mistakes here. I've spent a lot of time on the charts here. But anybody can learn how to do this, and hopefully learning on this live stream can kind of compress all of that, thousands of hours that I've spent on the chart, trading unprofitable strategies, strategy hopping. Hopefully all that experience can kind of expedite your learning process to help you avoid the mistakes that I actually made. And this is absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm probably going to drop a little bit of an update on exactly why I took this trade. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did this. I'll probably release that at some point this week. I may want to reshoot it because I shot it yesterday where we were at the first take profit. But now that it's played out in full, it might be a little saucy to remake that video. But, I'm going to break that down for you guys. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. You turn on notification bell so you don't miss that video. But as we come up here, guys, this is a very, very important level of resistance that we are technically getting stuck underneath right now. We are currently getting stuck underneath this 786, which could potentially be a bearish sign. Now, I don't want to get like super FUD on everybody, right? This is just local analysis, but we know if Bitcoin is going to continue its downtrend here, because technically, we have the high, the low, the lower high, the lower low. This could be potentially where we could put in a lower high, and there is even some resistance above this that would add a little bit of an extra level. Let me get rid of this real quick. Could add a little bit of extra backup resistance here. But, if we're looking for that lower high, where are we going to be looking for it? We're going to be looking at it. We're going to be looking for that at the golden pocket 786 retracement, just like we did from the high here, at $108,000 to the low, right? We looked for that retracement into our golden pocket. We knew this was the zone that we would likely put that lower high in at. We did wind up getting it, and we did wind up breaking structure to the downside, where we came to that key level where we could finally look for some sound long positions. And now if we're looking for that next lower high, if we are going to see some kind of bearish case play out where we reject here and continue breaking structure to the downside to some of those much, much lower levels, sitting closer to about, 87.3 is going to be kind of that first major level I'll be looking at. But if we were to see that continuation to the downside, now I'm going to talk about if I'm actually expecting this to happen, but I do just want to point out the importance of that level of resistance, because if we are going to see that wind up being the case, this could be the high probability area to put that lower high in at. So we are definitely hitting that key, not only our price target from last night's live stream, but we are also, at that, it's definitely a very dangerous level of resistance if we get stuck underneath that 786. And we are absolutely battling that 786, trying to get back above it. But, we do really have to be careful here, in my own personal opinion, just because of the context of that actual key level of resistance. Now, if I want to talk about, if we are going to see much, much higher prices on Bitcoin, where are we going to be looking next? Now, to be quite honest with you guys, we do have a significant, I'm actually going to pull these levels back up. We do have a significant level of resistance sitting up here, starting at about $104,700. And I will say this, if we are able to get out of here, push up above this value area high, this is obviously still going to be a level, I'm actually going to get rid of this fib, and I'm going to pull this larger fib from here to the actual low. You can see we do have a golden pocket retracement here. So this is going to be kind of that backup resistance that we're looking at. Now, if we are able to get above this value area high and push above this golden pocket, which is sitting at about $101,617, this is potentially where we could see price creep up, and we do have some liquidity sitting above this previous high at about 102,000 or 100. Let me get that exact number for you guys. $102,800. And if we are able to creep into this liquidity zone, right, we could see a quick pop to the upside, pushing us into that $104,000 to $104,700, $800 level. And then this could be, if we get above this golden pocket here, we rip up above this value area high, flip that golden pocket. That would be kind of the next major target, in my opinion. If we come take these highs, I do think that liquidity has a good possibility of pushing us into that $104,000 level. And that's going to be the next target to the upside, very simply put. And then once we finally get above that 786, this macro 786 here, technically, that is the invalidation, in my opinion, of that macro lower high coming in. Now, do we have a ton of resistance up here? Absolutely. We have a previous value area. We have a daily level in here. We also have some naked points of controls. We have a weekly naked point of control up there. We also have a daily naked point of control right on top of that weekly. So there is a lot of resistance up here. But technically, that 786 would invalidate the idea of that lower high coming in, obviously. But it is kind of a sticky situation, right? Because even if you flip this level, there is a lot of resistance in here. So we're going to have to reassess the situation once we get in here. But really, that's going to be the next target to the upside if we do wind up getting above that golden pocket. You know, at that point, we're looking to come take these highs. That liquidity could easily lead us into that 786 / next major level of resistance. So that's kind of the next bullish target, right? We called for 100K yesterday. If we broke that POC, we wound up getting it. I woke up today and I was like, dang, man, we front ran that $100,000 level at first at 99,958, right? And then eventually we did wind up and actually tapping that key target of $100,000 plus into that value area high. But that is going to be kind of the next targets here. I'll even put a little bit of a price label on this just so you guys can kind of, if you want to screenshot these levels, I'm probably going to start here at about the 786, 104, 292, and then obviously all up here, you know, up to 107.1 is going to be kind of the end of that resistance level. But again, we're going to have to reassess the situation once we get up there because there's a whole lot of resistance in here. Now, another thing that I actually do not hate right now is the fact that we are now back above our trend anchored VWAP, right? Pulled from the high, all-time high here. We have now gotten back above that level, fought it at that POC, got back above it, and that was what was able to push us into that value area high, $100,000 target. And this is pretty nice, right? Like at this point, hopefully we can stay above this and not do what we did back here where we came in, rejected, got above, ripped up, and then got that next little value area of rotation to the low, which obviously is something I'm going to be looking at if we do get up here. Obviously, we can look for short positions, as it would just be another deviation above the high, and if we are going to continue to range around here, which would be brutally boring, you know, we will be looking for short positions up there in the premium Discord, because when you have those value area trades, and they slap like they do recently, or not recently, but pretty much all the time, not 100% win rate, but, you know, it is obviously a very reliable strategy. But, you know, when you have those opportunities, you're always going to be looking for shorts on the deviations above those value area highs and below the value area lows. So with that being said, guys, you know, another thing here, in the premium Discord late last night, I dropped an update saying like, hey guys, money flow in the 90-minute looks pretty good for a continuation up. If we can get above that POC, we were looking for a little bit of turbulence up here at that point of control. We did get a little bit, but then again, you know, that money flow did stay in the green and gave us that continuation of the trend, bringing us directly into that price target. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? What is today? That was yesterday. Bada boom, right? So those are the first two targets we hit. Let me see here. Yeah. So yeah. Hey, what's up, Mafia? Money flow still looks okay on the 90-minute. However, it took all day to finally get above that to tap that golden pocket with the SFP of the highs. Also starting to put in some bear divs on the 1 hour and down. Remember, this golden pocket is a dangerous resistance level, just like that 786 that we're tapping right now. Let's see if we can get the local push down. Here are some local levels I'm looking at. And then the overall plan for our long position here was to get a little bit of turbulence and then continue above that PLC and get that push into our next target, again, between that 786 and value area high. And there we are, right? We literally push right above and push right into that target. Unbelievable. Mrs. Candles in the chat. Come on over here, Mrs. Candles. Let's see that hand. Let's see that hand. Come on. Give it to me. Oh, okay. Oh, she's feeling shy today, guys. Let's see. Oh, you're going to give me covered hand? Oh, well, she washed them. Better. I wonder what kind of soap she used. Okay. Anyway, sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Drop those Mrs. Candles hands in the chat. Hey, she's trying to steal my my Aztecian cactus moss water. Oh, Mrs. Candles brought the real Aztecian cactus moss. So you want to bring it up here, maybe? All right, I'll drink it tomorrow. I'll stick with the red. I'll stick with the red solo cup today. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Look at the Mrs. Candles hands in the chat. She left me already. But anyway, let's continue on. Lick for the XRP pump. Shout out to Mars Maserati. Yeah, that was an XRP hand lick, guys, not a Bitcoin hand lick. But hopefully, the XRP hand lick gives Bitcoin a little push up as well. But that 90-minute money flow stays in the green, guys. We anticipate, remember, money flow indicates the overall continuation of the trend. You're allowed to have little pullbacks here and there, but that overall continuation of the trend is going to be likely with that 90-minute money flow crossover, with that key green dot popping up on the daily time frame, right? When you have that market cipher B116 strategy, daily green dot, 90-minute money flow crossing into the green, you're anticipating that continuation of the trend. And that is just some of the things that we were looking at on top of the 2-hour money flow coming back into the green here to call for that target to come in here. And then you bring into account that we had the value area rotation that was very likely, makes it for a very high probability, not only trade, but a high probability target to get hit, right? So there we go. Other than that, I want to talk about kind of the lower time frames here, and is it more possible to get, and we could potentially even see a little pullback before continuing out of here. But for the most part here, guys, if we come on over to the two-day green dot is now printing, right, or has been printing. This was another thing that kind of gave us the anticipation of that push into $100,000. And if we come on over to the 3-day here, we also have that 3-day green dot looking to print. Now, this is something that we were looking at on a lot of the altcoins recently, how Market Cipher B is setting up potentially to put in somewhat of a bearish divergence. And if we were to see that happen, it would pretty much call for a break of the highs here, right? It would call for a break of the all-time high to put in that bearish divergence. So I'm not looking at this as a bearish signal at least yet, but we're trying to front run that bearish signal to call for the break of structure to the upside. So that's kind of like the higher time frame perspective here. If we can get that 2-day green dot to leak into this 3-day, and we get that 3-day green dot to continue printing or start to print, that is, at that point, we're probably playing up in these levels. But that's just something that I'm looking at. Like, in hindsight, this is, again, another thing that we were looking at on many altcoins. And just to pull up, we're going to cover XRP. And there we go. Look at that, guys. Look at that. We're literally pushing into our target from yesterday right now on XRP. But what was one of those things we were looking at is the same thing that was on Bitcoin, where we were looking at this 3-day momentum wave, looking to potentially print that bearish divergence. But what does that call for? It calls for a break of structure to the upside, right? We have to put in that higher high in on price action in order to print that bearish divergence. So when you see momentum waves forming like this, you can kind of try to front run it and to anticipate that next bullish move to the upside. There's something wonky going on what the heck is going on YouTube right now? It just said we went from 777 people down to 100 people. What the heck just happened there? Is that real? Did we lose internet? What is going on here? I don't know what the heck just happened. I'm just going to keep going and assume that that's a glitch. But, guys, beautiful move here on XRP. I'm going to wrap up Bitcoin real quick because I did not realize we were that close. Okay, now we're back up. That was very interesting. I'm going to come back over to XRP. Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. We said yesterday on the live stream, are we going to see that $3 plus XRP in the next week? Somebody clip it, and hopefully somebody clipped it, because here we are pushing right into our next target. Targets are all getting smashed, guys. Unbelievable. But just to wrap this up real quick, as of right now, can we get some short-term pullbacks? I do think it is somewhat possible, because if we come on over to the 4-hour time frame here, you guys can see, money flows in the green. Remember, this is more bullish for the continuation of the trend to the upside. But if we print that red dot on the 4-hour, and we wind up seeing some of this money flow continue to drain out on the 15-minute, we could potentially Tony T said the live chart is extremely glitchy. Those random dips are not accurate. Okay, interesting. But anyway, if we get that 4-hour red dot, guys, and this money flow leaks out, again, what I really would have loved to see here was some nice, clean, bearish divergences, as well as some other confirmations to give us a little bit more of a high probability of a push to the downside. Now, this is definitely possible in the short term. Talk about some key levels to the downside that we can look at if we get a pullback. But again, with our money flow being in the green, you have to remember, money flow indicates the overall trend. The red and the green dots only give you the ebbs and the flows in the market, right? I always say this, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot. But the overall trend continuation is based off your money flow. We use that money flow as a filter to figure out if we should be looking for lower highs and continuations down, or if we should be looking for higher lows and continuations up. And you can see that perfectly exemplified right here, right? Money flow crosses over into the green. At that point, you're expecting your trend to continue to the upside. You're not going to be wanting to dig a short up here because your money flow's in the green. And you're not going to want to gig along down here because your money flow is deep in the red. So right now, 4-hour money flow is attempting to push into the green here. Now, could we get a fake out? It's possible, right? Because, we just started coming into the green here. If we get that red dot, could it drag money flow back into the red? This would be something that would not worry me, but would give me an idea that, hey, maybe this is going to be a bigger pullback. And the fact that this 786 is an important level of resistance that we just went over, just talked about the reasons why that is. If we do see that red dot print, at this point, with money flow in the green, we are going to anticipate potential higher lows and continuations to the upside. But that does not mean that I'm not going to look for shorts up here if we get the right confirmations. Now, as of right now, I will say, we have a slight 24-minute bear div that printed here as we came up here and hit that value area high. It's very, very slight. You can see there's barely a lower high here. VWAP is coming back up. It's a little bit choppy here on the lower time frames, but I would not be surprised if we get some kind of a pullback here. Now, if we pull back short term, I want to talk about the local levels of support that I'm watching, and we'll bring those up right now. So, number one, very simply put, actually, let me pull up our local range really, really quick. Let me hide this and just see what this gives us as context. Okay, so, yeah, those are pretty similar. Okay. Let me pull back up the main range. So, if we cool off here, right, like this is a resistance level, we could easily come down, right? Doesn't mean we're going to zero, right? Again, money flow is king. And again, that daily money flow is one of those things we've been watching, guys. This is still technically trending to the downside, which from a binary perspective is bearish, right? Hopefully we don't come in and put in a lower high here to then cross over into the red. If we see that happen, which is going to take a while, we'll be able to check in many times before this happens. I'll keep you guys updated. But if we do see that money flow cross into the red, that's pretty much where I would be expecting those much lower targets to get hit, closer to 87, 85K. And then if we start breaking those levels, that would be very bearish in my opinion. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Locally, we are peaking up slightly here, but you just got to be careful of that lower high coming in on your money flow wave. But if we look here, lower time frame, if we do pull back, what would I be looking at? Well, just naturally, I'm actually going to turn off our main range here. I'm just going to pull this little area of consolidation that we had here before we broke out. This is probably going to give us some kind of support. If we go ahead and mark this out, we have the value area sitting between. Value area low sitting here at about 96,130. POC sitting at 96,861. And then you have your value area high sitting at about 97,433. And if we go ahead and pull some Fibonacci retracements, let me just see where I want to pull this from. Pull it from here. We'll go ahead and change the settings here to entry zone. So yeah, we do have some kind of confluence here. These would be some significant areas of support I would watch, right? If we're going to come back down and retest this value area high, it is confluent with that golden pocket. Again, sitting between about 97,461 and 97,181. It is going to be a zone, right? So if we were going to kind of cool off here, right, get some of those wonky bearish divergences. We also... I guess we didn't, we kind of swing failed these highs. But if we do get that correction, right, could look to come down to that golden pocket. But again, that would also potentially give us a continuation to the upside if that money flow continues into the green here, right? But if we break below that, I will simply, let's come down to a lower time frame so it doesn't look as wonky, simply be looking down here. Let's go to the 30-minute. Ugh, it's so annoying that it changes. Let me see. Is this pulled on the 1 hour? Yeah, so if we do break that golden pocket, guys, obviously I will just be using this volume profile as our, kind of context on the way to the downside here, right? So the next kind of key level I would look at is the 786 value area low. Once we start breaking out of here, that might mean, right, that we could see that larger continuation through that macro range to some lower prices. Because at that point, I would be okay if we wiggle down here, got to bounce off the golden pocket. It's also confluent with that macro POC. Remember, that is, 3 levels of confluence here. Local value area high, POC, golden pocket. So I wouldn't mind that, even if we wick down to come test the low of that range. But once you start breaking below this range here, you're losing the local range, and you're also below your POC, which could potentially give you the continuation to the low. In which case, hopefully, we can get some significant bearish confirmations here to catch that short position. So that's kind of the more bearish case to come back down to the value area low of the macro range. But again, with the way money flow looks, I would hope that that uptrend can continue just based off the charts here. We would hope that if that 4-hour red dot prints, we can get a little wiggle to the downside and then get that higher low and a continuation up because that money flow is going to indicate the longer-term trend. Now, these are not the only local levels of support that we can look at. We could also look a little bit more hyper-local, pulling our fibs. Make sure you guys are not in public while you pull your fib, by the way. I've been in trouble for that before. Nobody saw, but they could see that I was pulling fibs, and they're like, hey, bro, no trading in public. What are you doing here? This is, We're going to call the cops on you if you don't put that thing away. That's a huge fib. I was like, Bitcoin's pumping, man. I need the big fib. Anyway, if we do wind up, if we pull the more local Fibonacci retracement, it would have to be on a much lower time frame. In my opinion, the only other fibs that we can really pull here, this would kind of be another significant Fibonacci. If you're looking at just kind of one zone of support that you want to watch, I would probably watch this, right? It's pulled from the high from the low before we broke these highs and put in the new high into the value area high. But this is, really the POC. In the grand scheme of the volume profiles, guys, you really just don't want to lose the POC. So if we cool off here, right, I wouldn't have a problem. And again, this is very similar to the levels that we were just looking at, right? POC is right on that value area high. So, if we come on down here, I wouldn't mind something like that. But once you lose that POC, which is coming in at 97,417, this does put us at potential risk of getting that full drop to the downside, targeting that value area low back down towards about $90,500. The same level that we were looking for price to come down here before that long position. And you guys bet your bottom dollar, if we come down here again, if we have the setup, we will look for another long, right? A lot of people were very scared here, guys. A lot of people were very scared on this drop to the downside, but you do not want to get FOMO bearish at key support. Very important. Again, I'm going to break down this trade in a video to show you guys the exact entry confirmations that we look for and exactly how I trade these volume profiles to make money trading Bitcoin, whether price goes up or down. Shout out to everybody in here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Smash that like button. If we get 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream, we're giving away $150 in Solana on Friday night's live stream. Bitcoin, what is that? Shout out to Steve O Charts. Bitcoin, I think it's similar to PayPal. It's like a competitor to PayPal. I don't know who runs the company, but I don't know. Shout out to Steve. Let's see, bada boom, bada bing. When we get a green dot, do you look at the actual candles directly over it? Shout out to Mike Ramirez. It's not just the green dots that I'm trading based off of. Trading is all about context, right? Now, if I get a green dot, right, while money flow is tanking and we're in a macro downtrend, I'm not going to treat, the green dots I really use for understanding where the local lows are coming in. Like I said, the money flow indicates the overall trend, right? Money flow goes into the green here, right? Continuation of that uptrend. But look at all these red and green dots. What do they give you? They just give you green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, right? They give you the noise in the market. Now, it doesn't mean you can't, use these for your trades, right? For example, this long position down here, right? One of the things that we were looking for was a bullish divergence on the lower time frames, right? 15 minutes, one of my favorite time frames to catch this on. And in this case, right, when you're getting a bullish divergence, you're getting other entry confirmations. This green dot printing on the 15-minute could give me a good idea of where I want to enter the trade. But the idea of the trade going all the way through the volume profile back to the POC, which is the next likely target, and back to the value area high, which is the target after that, right? That is all based off money flow, right? Because we're looking to identify the trend, not where that local bounce is going to come in at, right? Otherwise, you're going to be looking at this and you're going to be like, right here, you're going to be like, oh my God, red dot, short it to zero. But no, look at your money flow. Your money flow is coming up. So really what you would anticipate there is a lackluster pullback to put in a higher low and continue to the upside. So there you go. Hopefully that answers your question, bro. But that's what we're looking at here on Bitcoin, guys. We are at key resistance. Can we get the local pullback? Absolutely. If we do, these are the key levels I'm going to be looking at, sitting at the golden pocket 786. Let me get the actual wick there. Golden pocket 786 POC confluence, right? That is going to be what we're looking at. And then if we pull up the daily here, yeah, we have no other real significant. Let me actually pull up XO charts really quickly. Let me load up these daily naked points of control, see if we have a point of control somewhere down there. But that's really the zone, right? 98K down to 97.3, 97.2. That's the level you don't want to break. Once you break below that, it's probably more likely that that was the tap of the value area high, and you could potentially see that full rotation. Now, there are some other key levels here, right? If we pull our full Fibonacci from the low to the high, right? Technically down here, I would probably wouldn't even really be interested in paying attention to these until we broke down. Because right now, like, this is just kind of trying to find every possible situation. Right now, let's see if we can get down here, see if we can get the bounce. If not, then we can look at those lower targets. But either way, they're going to be closer to about $92,000 to $90,000. It is going to be a zone, right? So there you go. That is pretty much what we're looking at. Again, money flow in the 90 minutes still looking pretty good. 4-hour money flow still in the green. We'll see what that 4-hour red dot gives us. Hopefully we can catch a scalp short to the downside before hopefully continuing to the upside, breaking above that golden pocket and seeing $104,000 come in, sweeping that liquidity above these highs. And this will also, just to be clear here, guys, when we sweep that liquidity into the 786, like we are going to be looking for shorts up here. We're not trying to call the exact top for the bear market or anything like that, right? We are catching those little shorts. Even if we ripped up, even if we short from here, go to the POC, we will be taking profits on that trade, moving our stop losses. That way, if we get the higher low, we can hold a portion of our long to continue to pay us out and still be able to make a little bit of money on that little push to the downside. So I don't want anyone thinking just because I'm looking for shorts up here that we're going to zero, right? I am a trader. I am a short-term trader. We're not trying to like call the exact top here, at least in this particular situation. Sometimes we do. But that's what we're looking at. We'll keep an eye here on price action. I really wish, if we were seeing like really, really clean bearish divergences up here or something like that, like you do have a little bit of a 30-minute bear div, right? You have higher high, slightly lower high here on your momentum waves. But it's, VWAP coming up, money flow coming back up. It's not really the strongest signal in my opinion. But again, definitely possible to get a little bit of a pullback here. But it's not like I'd be in a short already if we had really, really clear confirmations. But just because I'm not in a short, guys, does not mean it cannot pull back. So there you go. I'm happy to miss that little pullback. I'm not going to chase the trade. I would just rather have more clear confirmations. And yeah, we really got to get above that 786 right now. That's kind of the local level we got to get above right now. Like, let's get above 99,857, and then we can start working on these higher levels. But let's check out on chat really quickly. We got some super chats. I want to touch on those, and then we're going to look. We'll come back to Bitcoin in just a minute, but I want to jump into XRP, guys, because XRP is getting exciting. So I'm going to break all that down, and then we'll go into the other altcoins. Shout out to Dave Digital. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Said, hey, yo, Frankie, I just got married. Shout out to Dave Digital. Really? How is this the first time? Hang on, Dave, are you trolling right now? Did you really just get married? I'm surprised this would be the first time I heard of that. If you did actually get married, bro, congratulations. Shout out to Dave Digital, but I kind of feel like you might be trolling me. Send pics or it didn't happen. Shout out to Dave Digital. Yeah, I'm going to wait for the confirmation there, but congrats if you actually got married. I can't believe I wouldn't have known that. But shout out to Dave Digital. Thank you for the super chat, bro. We got Jesse said, #GiversGain. Love you all. Shout out to Jesse. Jesse was in that Twitter space last night. So shout out to Jesse. Thanks for stopping by. Billy Goat Tales on X at 9 p.m. Don't forget it, guys. Shout out to Tony D. We already read that. Wick589 was also with Billy Goat Tales last night. He said, there are tools for measuring crypto market caps at different prices. Use those to find realistic all-time highs for XRP. That was for the CandleMafia. Shout out to Wick589. Maybe we'll talk about that. And yes, shout out to the Coin Perspective. I have no connection to this platform at all, but it's a very, very useful free tool that you can use to find realistic price targets. When you have your friend telling you that XRP is going to go to $1,000, you got to do the math on the market cap to figure out the realisticness of that actually happening. And I talk about this all the time. Maybe we'll touch on it today, but definitely go check out the Coin Perspective. Type in the price target and see what that market cap has to be. If it has to be $500 trillion, you have to understand that that is hundreds of times more than all of crypto's market cap right now. So you have to think to yourself, is 500 times, 400 and something times the market cap of all of crypto going to go just into XRP? If you think that, then maybe $1,000 or whatever, $10,000 is realistic, but you really do have to understand market cap to get those realistic price predictions. So shout out to Wick. Thank you for saying that, bro. That is a lot of people do need to hear that. Retro Mike, shout out to Retro Mike Tech says, fixing Wick super chat amount, 589. Let's go. Shout out to Retro Mike Tech. And maybe we can hit 589 sooner than you guys can think. And I'm going to talk about it right after these last super chats. 589 might be on the table, guys. Not what you think, though. Not what you think. Shout out to Mars Maserati. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you so much. He says, XRP, pump it up. Pump it up. You got to. We got to get that song on the stream deck. We'll probably get copyrighted for it, but in times like this, it's worth the copyright claim. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. Shout out to Mars Maserati. Let's get into XRP here, guys. Hey, shout out to Sly Man. Thank you for the super chat. Said, yo, Frankie, thanks for dogs. Need your crystal ball again for dogs. Yo, shout out to you, man. Oh, God, the crystal ball is in high demand, especially when it slaps like it did yesterday. But speaking of that crystal ball playing out and giving price, putting price or pushing price into our targets here, guys, that's Bitcoin. Let's jump into XRP. We'll come back to Bitcoin in just a minute, see if we get that pullback. But let's take a look here. And there is the final tap of finally, there is the tap of our next target for XRP, guys. Shout out to Dave Digital. Thank you for the super chat. Says, Wick's poetic tongue wooed me, so I married him. Oh, shout out to Dave Digital. Congratulations, guys. How does Wick's wife feel about that, Dave? Are you guys kind of like a throuple now? Shout out to Dave Digital. Let's go. Wick is a profound poet. Prolific, some would say. But anyway, let's jump in here. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. I appreciate you guys genuinely from the bottom of my heart. But as we see, XRP, guys, yesterday, what were we looking at as XRP was tapping on that last key level of resistance where we knew if it broke, we would likely get a big move to the upside, flying through this gap up to our next target, sitting at between 314 and about 331, which is the all-time high for XRP. Absolutely beautiful to see this happen, and it's super exciting that this actually happened during the live stream, getting that push up into this target. Now, guys, this is going to be the last level of defense. Sure, we have this local extension level at about 352, which, hey, who wouldn't like that, right? Push up into 352, not a big deal. But if we get above that level, I don't know how much support resistance this is going to give us, but once we break above that all-time high, guys, we could potentially see XRP start going crazy once again. When XRP goes, guys, it goes, right? We talked about this yesterday as well. Big moves up. It likes to coil up in these little bull pennant formations, explosion, coil up again, explosion, coil up again, explosion. And then we also just wound up having another kind of same pattern form here where you get that kind of bull pennant type formation, right? You get that kind of, I don't trade based off of this, but you do get those kind of bull pennants, and then eventually you break out and rip back to the upside. I will say XRP loves these bull pennants, and to be quite honest, trades very technically here as well, right? Like low, high, low, not to the high, back to the low, back to the high, and then eventually you break out, retest the top of that pennant, and then you get the breakout. But really the way I was looking at this was simply looking to break that 786. This is a little bit more of a technical way to look at price. Once we break that 786, this was the last chance that we had to put in a rejection to get a move back down. And the reason we were kind of hoping, or not hoping, but expecting this level to break was because we had already gotten, when you pull your fib from the high to the low, we had already gotten a full retracement into the golden pocket, into the 786. So once you tap those 786s, and even like the more times you tap it, the less likely it is to act as a key level of resistance. And that's where we knew once you broke above it, you could easily see that push up to our next target. And there it is in all of its glory, guys, right there. And we teach you how to do this every single weekday right here on the live streams, guys. No charge. Well, actually, we do charge. Did anybody put you guys were supposed to pay before you got in here. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. But absolutely beautiful. And looking at Market Cypher B, and we'll talk about those next targets above the all-time high. However, when we look at XRP, again, we kind of just talked about this. This is the exact situation that we were hoping for. See that 3-day, look to print the bear div. It calls for a break of structure to the high. Where's that next high likely to lead you into? Right into that zone. So let's see if we can push up into that all-time high. Now, if we do wind up, I'll come down to a little bit of a lower time frame here. If we do wind up getting a pop above that all-time high and going into price discovery, guys, I will be looking for XRP to come into about $4.18 up to about $4.53. So target 1 has been tapped, technically. At least the first level of it, right? It's kind of a zone here. But I guess we could kind of move this up, right? So that level has been tapped. We can move that up. So now our next major target is going to be sitting at the all-time high. Again, I'm taking this level with a grain of salt, so we'll kind of just look at the all-time high. Once we get above that level, see if we can go into price discovery and push into our next major target between 418 and 453. Now, if we get a big push up here, right? If we get above that, guys, this is where we get to that first major bull market target that I have, which we've looked at in pre-recorded videos recently, or not recently, but in the past. I've shown kind of what I am expecting here in the form of a bull market for XRP, right? Major target number 1, about 528, not quite 589, not quite 589 or 589. It's a $5.28. And then you have another Fibonacci extension up here. I'll even mark this out with a purple box as well. We'll see if we come up there. But 554 is the top of that Fibonacci extension. So this is kind of the roadmap. I'm not saying that we have to Lambo candle right up there. However, once you break that all-time high, we're kind of a slave to looking at those Fibonacci extension targets. So we can't look back in time to look for the volume profiles or anything like that. We just have to look for a move into these Fibonacci extension targets. And those are the next ones that we have. And I'll even put a little bit of a, just going to go, just so you guys can get an actual price target on there. Let me go ahead and label these with horizontal lines. Boom, 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 right? So these are going to be the next targets for XRP. And if you want to, let's show one more. Target number 2, $8.51. Can we make it? I think we might, guys. Again, this is longer term. These are a little bit longer term. But locally, let's see if we can push up into that 350 zone and then push up into that 418 to 453 zone. Now, taking a look at market Cypher B on the higher time frames, 2-day green dot is confirmed, 3-day green dot is confirmed, and our 4-day green dot is confirmed. Now, we have our 5-day green dot printing, 6-day green dot printing. Look at the money flow. Look at the money flow, guys. A high time frame money flow crossover like a 6-day is nothing to mess around with. Weekly, green dot and money flow crossing back into the green here, guys. I will say this. If we are going to see a bigger move up on XRP, this is kind of the environment we want to see, right? Money flow crossover with a green dot printing. Sometimes that gives us an explosive move to the upside. And then again, 6-day, 5-day green dots printing, not looking too shabby with all money flow coming up. So hopefully this isn't going to be another fake out into the green. And hopefully we could see this thing absolutely send it. You can see that last 5-day money flow crossover was giving us that big continuation to the upside, pulling up the 6-day. Now we're getting the 6-day. Let's see if that could give us our next big leg up. Now, if we went from where we're at right now up to our next major target, 44%, not too shabby for XRP. Finally seeing that thing come out of consolidation, exactly as we were looking for. Shout out to Tony D. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Said over 1,000 watching in here. We haven't hassled you guys in a while, but smash that dang like button. Smash that like button, guys. We're giving away $150 in Solana if we can get 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream. And if you're not subbed to the channel, guys, if you want these price targets, we give them for free here on the live stream every weekday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if there is obviously a clear target, right? We're not going to give you targets if we don't think they're going to get hit. But make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash that like button. And if you guys want to see your favorite altcoins, I'm going to go a little bit more into XRP here locally, but kind of not much to do here on the lower time frames, right? Like we're just kind of yoinking up, right? Like not much TA to do up here. We're at our first target. Let's see if we can attack that all-time high. Hopefully, we could get it to happen during the stream. I will just blast music and we will party if we hit this. We on the moon, baby. Let's go. I'm going to set that alert. If we get it hit while we're looking at other altcoins, we will come back to this. But drop those altcoins if you want to see them in the chat. Rob the Crypto Snob will count up the votes and let us know what we're looking at. And I'm going to go over a couple that I want to look at beside the fact, and then we'll get into the requests. But let me just check in on chat real quick. All set said TA sauce on XRP. Let's go. Shout out to anybody in the live stream last night. Someone said it in the chat earlier. They were like, Frankie, XRP and Bitcoin targets hit. Unbelievable. And again, guys, I teach you how to do this, right? My whole point on this YouTube channel is to give as much free value as I possibly can to teach you how I actually do this TA. I'm not trying to hoard my secrets. I want to show you guys how to do this so you can find these targets on coins that maybe we don't look at. So shout out to everybody in here. Let's see. If you don't like, shout out to Crypto Nate A and Crypto Nate B. Says, if you don't like, you're a Fed. Shout out to Crypto Nate A. Let's go, baby. Exactly as predicted. Shout out to P-Dub. Let's get it. Shout out to Edward Torres. Say, Frankie, can you explain your anchor wave VWAP, please? Shout out to Edward Torres. So when I say anchor wave, really what an anchor wave is, in my opinion, right, the way I look at it, any wave that comes down and comes, into the oversold territory here on market Cypher B, right? So this -60 line is your oversold territory. So this would be an anchor wave. And then to be honest, this is actually a pretty nice example here. Trigger waves, right? The way I look at trigger waves are green dots that print very close to the zero line. Now, if I zoomed in here a lot, you can see this momentum wave is very small here. And this is kind of how I remember it. You have your anchor wave, right? And then you have your little trigger wave. If you drew this, right? Some of these things look something like this, right? And then I don't want to say it out loud because I don't think YouTube likes that. Sometimes there's a trigger guard, right? If you know anything about these things that I'm drawing, right? I'll just draw it. I'll draw it plain here so it'll look a little better, right? Boom. Some of these things have hammers on the back. Anchor, trigger, boom. That's pull the trigger and then boom. So you look for that anchor wave, that big handle, right? And then you have that little trigger wave. And once that trigger wave prints, that's where you're looking for a potential another move up. And this is kind of a great example of that. Anchor, trigger, ba-boom, 10% rip. So there you go. And it's even better if you could get this to print as you're getting a bullish divergence. Now, if you don't know what bullish divergences are, check out the beginner series. We have a whole playlist to get you from knowing nothing about the charts, go from zero to hero, understanding everything I'm talking about so you can find high probability trades as well. Let's see. K Diggity said, I made fun of XRP, then bought some at 50 cents because Wick. And shout out to K Diggity. Give Wick a hug. Give Wick a hug, K Diggity. Let's go. All right, let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on here. 2 red dots. Death Bullish. Shout out to Crypto Sharknado. I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that. But Caliber 22, I think that's a 45 right here. I think that's a 45. Shout out to Jesse. But anyway, let's continue on here. We'll keep an eye on XRP. If we get another rip up, we'll see if we can push up in here. But again, low time frame, there's not much TA to do. We looked at this all since December, right? The beginning of December, we started this consolidation. We were just looking for that breakout into our next target, which again was originally down here, but now we moved it up. That's our next target. Let's see. Can we see XRP? Somebody clip it. We did this yesterday. Somebody clip it. Between 331 and 352 by tomorrow or this week. Can we see it? We'll see. We'll see. And if it doesn't happen, delete that clip. Delete that clip. I'm just kidding, guys. I can't hide. I go live every day. If I'm wrong, it's out there in the public. We don't delete live streams. Shout out to Flat Smack. Flat Smack that like button, guys, if you have not already. Let's see. Rob, the Crypto Snob, is in the chat today. So, yeah, spam those altcoins. Hopefully, Rob can get us the uncharted territory. Shout out to Rob. Literally, we will be in uncharted territory. Uncharted. But, yeah, whenever you get that list, Rob, just throw it in there. Take your time. I do want to take a quick look at Ethereum. Which again, right, yesterday on Ethereum, or not yesterday, but recently on Ethereum, right, we were waiting for that push into our key zone, just like Bitcoin, kind of the same thing, right? This is our macro range, push into the value area low. We got the SFP into a golden pocket, and the daily and weekly held, right? We get that push up. Where are we looking for price to go? Next stop for price, once you hold that value area low, the next likely place for price to go is that POC. Now, that POC has not been tapped yet. We do have this spider line coming in right underneath that point of control. So if we pull from the high to the low here, you guys know this golden pocket is key resistance, especially because it has that spider line coming right through it. I will extend this range or zone up to the POC, right? Because this is kind of a big level of resistance. I would, based off the volume profiles, it would say that as long as you hold above the value area low, the doorway to the POC is open, and we pretty much made it up there. We like barely front ran it. But once we get above that POC, the last level of resistance before seeing that $3,700 Ethereum is going to be sitting at 35.64, where we have that 786. Technically, this whole range is the key level of resistance, because if we're looking for that macro lower high to continue our downtrend, that lower high is likely to come in between that golden pocket, POC 786. So we're going to see that break of structure to the downside, just like the bearish case on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's sitting at that key zone of resistance where that lower high is likely, or not likely, but if we're going to get it, that's where you would look for it, right? Same thing on Ethereum. It's almost the same technical level. Pulled from the previous high to the low. Golden pocket 786 POC. Bitcoin's not at the POC, but Ethereum's obviously a little bit different, right? But it's the same thing, right? We're looking for potential lower high here. If that continuation down with the break of structure, next key targets to the downside at least is going to be 28.88. This is the danger zone, as we drew yesterday. The danger zone, baby. If we lose that, we're probably looking down towards about 26. I would say between 27 and 2,600 bucks, right, to the POC and value area high here. This is not what we want to see. So hopefully we can just rip up here, flip that 786, and get the heck out of here. But other than that, pretty clear here on Ethereum, right? Look at that green dot looking to print, which it is. 90-minute money flow is in the green here. So if we see that money flow on the green on the 90-minute, just like on Bitcoin, if this stays in the green, guys, what did Bitcoin do here? It hit its head, it hit its head, it hit its head, and then eventually it broke out and went to the value area high. Are we going to see the same thing on Ethereum? Well, that 90-minute money flow wave coming into the green like that could potentially call for the continuation up. But just like on Bitcoin, you could have some turbulence, right? We had that little dip down before getting up and pushing into our next target. So Ethereum's at our first target. If we get above that 786, look for that second target sitting between 36.79 and 37.69. And just to kind of show that, on Bitcoin, right? 90-minute money flow crosses over into the green. You come up to your POC, you hit it, you get a little turbulence, but then you flip it, and you go to the value area high. And Bitcoin, baby, Bitcoin continuing to push up here. Come on, baby. Hit that golden pocket. You guys know we love hitting that golden pocket. Anyway, shout out to Batu. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, hey, Frankie, got a juke long entry at 83 cents. Would love to leave it, get back to 1.7 or all-time high. Is it more likely that the big to correct heavily and obliterate me? Current lick level is 75 cent. We'll add margin to lower it. Shout out to Batu. Dangerous game to play. However, I'll try to break it down. Maybe we took a look at Jupe yesterday. I'll try to take a look at it for you today, bro. We like to switch up the altcoins just to kind of rotate through multiple alts. I'll try to take a look at it for you, bro, and I'll come back to this. If we do have time, I'll come back to this, and I'll take a look at the trade and give you my thoughts. If we have time, I will try my best. Shout out to Batu. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you so much. But let's continue on here. Let's see. Wait till I dump all my cash on the peasants. Yo, shout out to Retro. Retro Mike said that, not me. Shout out to Retro Mike Tech. But let's go ahead and continue on here, guys. We took a look at Ethereum. Let's take a quick look at Solana. As you guys know, Solana here. Let's come up to a higher time frame. Key level of resistance, we are in, right? So last time we looked at Solana, right? We looked to come into our key zone of support. We tapped that golden pocket almost to the penny here before getting that bounce back to the upside. And Solana, pretty much everything's at the bullish targets, right? Golden pocket 786. This zone sitting between 211 and 202. That's that next target for Solana. Here we are sitting right in here. Now, again, just like Ethereum, guys, this is potentially an area that we might get a harsh rejection from if things flip bearish. In which case, if we did get a lower high here and we get the bigger pullback to the downside, this still remains your key level of support, where obviously, as we were looking at either yesterday or the day before, right, that next key level is going to be the POC 786 at about $143, right? Because if you lose your golden pocket, the next likely place for price to go is the 786 at $143. Likewise, if you lose that value area high, the next likely place for price to go is the POC, sitting at $143. So multiple reasons to be looking down there if you break below that golden pocket. But we are now at that bullish target, so that's still on the table if we lose that level, but we got that beautiful bounce from our long zone here on that golden pocket value area high. When you break out of ranges like this, guys, everybody gets scared, and I don't want to act like this is the end-all, be-all. Everything is going to be going up and to the right from now on, but I will just say, remember how bearish people felt on this drop to the downside, but when I look at the charts, we say, like, guys, this isn't necessarily that scary. Now, could this turn much more bearish? Potentially, but you have to know the key levels that you're looking at. When you coil up in a range like this for so long and you get a breakout like this and you don't retest again, this makes a very high probability support zone. And then, if we're going to put in a bounce here and rip up maybe to new all-time highs, hopefully, everyone's wishing for that. But if we did see that, this is a nice zone to bounce off of, putting in the nice low here on that golden pocket. Green dot on the daily is printing. Money flow, fighting for its life here. Money flow, trying to cross over into the green here. So this would be a big signal I would watch on Solana. Money flow crossover into the green would indicate that the longer-term trend would continue to the upside, right? Higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And then hopefully we can rip off, and break the highs here at about $265. So we had our upper targets. I'm not going to talk about them right now because we're still pretty far away. But as of right now, this is our key zone of resistance on Solana. We are tapping into that danger zone. 786 golden pocket. Break above that 786, I would simply shift my focus to this value area right here. Grab those horizontal lines, value area low, POC, value area high. So we break above that 786. I would hope that we can come up and approach that value area low, and at that point, you're looking at this as a typical volume profile. Get above the low, POC to the high, break out, look to take those highs. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's see what happens in here. Coming down lower time frame, 1 hour time frame. No bearish divergences or anything like that, right? Let me hide this. We don't have any bearish divergences, at least as of right now. You don't have any. Let's check the 90-minute. Yeah, I will say this. A lot of stuff is a little bit overbought, right? Like, a little things are, it looks a little overheated, right? But that doesn't mean you're going to dump. It would probably just mean, especially if money flows in the green, cool off for higher lows and continuations higher. But yeah, just be careful. Again, one more time. Key zone of resistance to get out of is 211 at that 786. Get out of 211. You could potentially make it up to 225. But you have to be careful in here. If we start consolidating in here, this is where I let price kind of wiggle around, and then that's where I pull my new range, and I look for short positions. If money flow starts coming out, that's where I'm saying, hey, maybe we can get a little short position here for another drop down. That's how we catch the top. But we'll be looking for that in the premium Discord. Potentially. We don't really trade. I don't trade Solana very actively, at least as of right now. Sometimes I trade the altcoins when they're more volatile. But for the most part, we probably trade like 90% Bitcoin, maybe even more. At least recently, it's been very heavy Bitcoin. But, that's kind of how we trade everything, right? So, yeah, there you go. Money flow on the 90-minute is in the green here. So same thing as Ethereum, right? Keep that money flow in the green. Little pullbacks are okay, but that money flow would indicate the trend to the upside may continue. Daily green dot, 2-day green dot now printing as well. We also put in 2-day bull divs. Lower lows on your price action into a key level of support. Higher lows on your momentum waves. Green dot printing. This might be the start of another big trend to the upside. We'll have to keep an eye on it. 3-day, green dot looking to print potentially as well. So we'll see what happens here. Watch that 2-day bull div to confirm. I don't hate that, especially into a golden pocket value area high like that. So there you go. Those are the next targets. Break where we are now, 211. Get above 211. We can look up towards about 225. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's move on to our next altcoin. That was Solana, ETH, XRP. How's XRP doing? We didn't have an alert go off just yet. All right, so she's hanging out at our target. See if we can push up. Took a look at Solana. What else do we want to take a look at? All right, let's take that list. Let's see. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. I'm sure I missed it. Bada boom, bada bing. There. Oh, nope, that's Rob. Nope, not yet. Okay. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Pudgy. We could try to take a look. Virtual. Okay, let's take a look at virtual real quick while we're waiting for the list here. We'll take a look at virtual. I see a lot of people asking about this. So this thing is absolutely on a tear. I think we actually have a do we have a chart on this already? I think I did just recently make a chart on this in a recent live stream. Where are we at? I think it's this chart. Let's see. Virtual. I guess not. Maybe not. All right, we'll just make a new chart here. All right, so let's come up to a higher time frame. Yeah, we'll just use this one. This is the Binance chart. All right. Shout out to Wick589. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Said, does XLM really follow XRP? Actually, I haven't looked at XLM today. That's the market cap. Well, I'll say this. If it does, might be a lagging pump here. Might be a lagging pump. We'll come back to XLM actually. I want to look at XLM. So I'm gonna write that down. Bada boom. Let's see. Oh my God, is that the real Alex O? Yo, Alex O in the chat. What is going on, bro? Yo, good. Hanging out in Billy Goat Tales last night. It was nice to talk to you, bro. I don't think I've ever verbally talked to you before. It's kind of weird. You like know these people online sometimes, and you don't actually have like verbal communications with them. And you get into a Twitter space, and it's like I got to meet Wick's wife verbally for the first time ever. And it's like we've communicated in chat so many times. It's weird to actually hear people's voices in real life. So shout out to Alex O. Good to talk to you last night, bro. I appreciate spending the night chatting about fellow crypto content creation. Said, great evening last night, Frank. Appreciate you. I appreciate you as well, Alex. Shout out to Alex O Crypto. Let's see. Yo, thanks for staying overtime, y'all. Yeah, shout out to Wick. Yeah, we went overtime a little bit, but when you have good conversation with good people, that's what happens, guys. That's what happens. I want it to be the longest PGT chapter. Unbelievable. Yeah, maybe it will be. We're going to go down in history, baby. But let's continue on here. So let's go back to virtuals real quick. Yeah, I actually like this one. Let's look at the Binance chart. We have a little bit more price action there. Okay, so it is a little bit hard, right? Like this thing has just been grinding, absolutely grinding. So like really the only way there's not even, excuse me, there's not even really there's not even like really clean ranges, to be honest. Like this is somewhat of a wonky range, even though this is kind of irrelevant. Not irrelevant, but this is, the last significant volume profile we could have looked at with our horizontal lines, value area low, POC, value area high, right? You go to low, back to the POC, flip the POC, go to the high, flip the high, and then you get the breakout. But to be quite honest with you, it's kind of hard to grab these levels. It's just because of the weird grinding nature of this, right? Like even this, we kind of like grinded to the upside. But this could give us some key support if we do get a cool off here. Value area low sitting at 335, POC sitting at 343, and then your value area high sitting at 360. I mean, I will say this. I mean, if we cool off, your key level of support is going to be this. Like this is the only tangible value area that I can pull. I can't pull a range here. I can't pull a range here. I can't pull, like, this is just straight down. This is the only value area that I can potentially pull here. So I will be looking at this as your next value area to the downside. If this thing does get a bigger cool off, get stuck under the value area high, you might be able to kind of wiggle around here a little bit. And to be, yeah, like it's kind of hard. I can't even pull, like if I pull my fib, right? And again, I don't like doing this in public, guys, pulling my fib and everything. But yeah, I'll mark out some key levels here. Let me get some naked points of controls in here. Let's take a look at the weekly. All right, so you have no weeklies. Let's check the daily. Yeah, you do have a daily MPOC sitting right up here. This would be a key level of resistance. That's a weekly MPOC. That's not what I wanted. Daily MPOC. Yeah, you got nothing. Yeah, you really don't have much in here inside of this range. There's really nothing. There's no daily levels, no nothing. So kind of hard to get those next key levels of support other than this volume profile, which you could see is pretty beautifully respected. Like if you come down to something like a 5 minute, right? Like you get up and maybe go even lower, right? You get up in there, pop up, flip it to support, go to the POC. Play around with that POC. Once you hold it as support, you go up to the value area high. Look at how accurate those levels are. Not really here, but you flip, you hold it, value area high, rejection, rejection, rejection. You get above it. If we zoom in enough here, you get above it, flip it to support, and then you get the push up. And then you lose it, you come back up, bounce, front run, bounce, and then you get the real move. But yeah, to be honest, guys, like this chart is a little young and a little grindy to get those key levels. So this is 336 value area low, 343 POC, 360 value area high. I wish I could pull more, confluent golden pockets, but I really can't. There's like these aren't really that close, right? Like this is kind of far away. I mean, yeah, I guess if you pull it here or even here, I'll mark it out like this. You would hope if you come back down here, you could hold above that golden pocket 786 / value area high, put in a higher low, and then continue to the upside. Maybe something like that, targeting the daily naked point of control at about 414 would be the next stop to the upside, in my opinion. So if we cool off, watch this zone, you lose that 786, you're at risk of coming down to the bottom of the range, at least the POC at 343. So those are the key levels I'd look at down below. The next target to the upside would be 414. And yeah, take a look at Market Cypher B here real quick. Money flow coming out on the 24-minute. Let's check the 15-minute. 15-minute kind of wonky. Let's see, 4-hour red dot. This is kind of looking similar to Bitcoin in a lot of ways with that 4-hour green dot, potentially imminent. But yeah, kind of hard. I would say the next target to the upside, 414. These are the key levels to the downside. As far as Market Cypher B, green dot on the daily with your 90-minute money flow crossover. So it's the same thing as everything else. Everything really looks very similar on Market Cypher B right now. Money flow continues into the green. We can anticipate the trend to the upside to continue. Now, if we don't hold this, the next key golden pocket that I would really enjoy holding would be, it's a little bit of a big zone here, but golden pocket, value area low confluence. So maybe something like this. Kind of hard. Very speculative, but something like that. These would be like the two major zones I would be looking at, personally. So there you go. That's what I'd be looking at on virtuals. Watch that 90-minute money flow crossover. If so, you expect the trend to continue up. Pullbacks are okay. Pullbacks are okay. You're just looking for that money flow to stay in the green. And remember, that 90-minute money flow staying in the green is only important because we have that daily green dot printing. Because what do we always say? Daily green dot, every time I see a daily green dot, I'm coming straight down to the 90-minute, and I'm saying, what's that money flow doing? If it's about to cross over, usually a good time to look for a long, because if you could catch that money flow crossover early, you could look for that, you could catch it before it actually crosses over. You could get in nice and early, right? If you caught the last pull up on that money flow, you would have gotten in right on that retest before the big blast up. And where's that big move up start? That money flow crossover is typically what starts the bigger move up. Daily green dot, 90-minute money flow crossover into the green. It's one of the most simple and easiest trading strategies you can use. I used to trade this alone. I don't do it anymore. I use it as a key part of my strategy, but I don't really enter based off of this strategy anymore. But I will say this. I used to trade just based off this strategy a lot before I used more advanced techniques, and I made a lot of really, really good trades based off that strategy. And we show this all the time. And if you backtest this, it is very, very high probability. So that's what I'll be looking at on virtuals. Not too shabby with a beautiful, beautiful 41% move to the upside. All right, let's see. Shout out to Thesis himself. What is going on, bro? He said, could you please put some respect on the 886 Fibs name? It never gets the love it deserves. Hashtag hot sauce over ketchup. I don't even like hot sauce, and I would put hot sauce over ketchup. So shout out to Thesis himself. Hashtag 886 over 786. Hashtag Tyler Durden is not real. I always thought Tyler Durden might be a figment of my imagination. Shout out to Tyler Durden. But yeah, maybe, I know some people like to look at the 886. Maybe we'll start incorporating the 886. Should I add it into our settings already? Let's see. Let's, what should we, I'll just grab, Yeah, I guess we'll make it golden. We'll make it oh no, golden pocket's golden. We'll make it green, like money. We'll make it lime green. There we go. All right, there we go. It's on the chart now. Shout out to Thesis himself. I don't know if I'm going to let it live here forever, but we'll see. Maybe I'll become a huge fan of the 886, and maybe we can start putting some respect on the 886 name. Shout out to Thesis, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Rob said, I wish he was a figment of my imagination. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. And feuding with Tyler Durden. All right, let's see. Let's see. Shout out to Plasma said, I'm so confused. Where's the entry for a short on Bitcoin here at current price level? I assume that's what PL means. I don't know. We going to be rich. Shout out to Skirta. Shout out to Skirta. Flag on XRP. We'll check it out in a second. We'll jump back into XRP in a minute. Short entry on Bitcoin. I mean, it really depends on what you want to look at here. But for me, right, I don't just take shorts based off price levels, but I really look for the actual entry confirmations, which, as we talked about in the beginning of the stream, we don't necessarily really have here, right? We didn't get the 15-minute bearish divergence here. Maybe we could put one in here, but I don't know. We didn't really get strong confirmation up here, in my opinion. So I'm not in a short just yet, but I am looking for shorts, as this is a key zone of resistance. If I don't get the confirmations, I will not take the trade, right? Like, if we came down to our value area low here where we took our long position, I would not have taken the long if we did not get the entry confirmations. And again, I'm going to make a video breaking down exactly how we took this trade for free on the YouTube channel. I'm just going to walk you through the trade, show you guys exactly the strategy that we used and the exact entry confirmations. Excuse me. But it is important to realize that entry confirmations are always going to be a little bit different depending on the setup, but I'm going to break down this trade exactly. I don't know a better way to try to show people how we trade or how they can actually take some profitable setups. I don't know a better way to do that other than just like showing a trade that we actually took that played out exactly as we wanted it to, right? So I'm going to walk you through not only how we took it, not the entry confirmations, not only the entry confirmations, not only the key levels we were looking at, not only the context, but exactly the plan for that trade, where we were looking to take profits, how I manage it from start to finish. So you, even as a beginner, can understand these strategies and make money trading Bitcoin, whether price goes up or down. But let's see. All right, smash that daggone like button. Shout out to Nick Dunn. Let's go. Smash that like button, guys. 1,000 likes gets $150 in Solana given away on Friday night's live stream. But let's go ahead. I'm going to take a quick check in on XRP. Let's see what we're doing here. Let's see. I mean, if you come on down to, somebody said flag. Yeah, I mean, maybe on the 1 minute, something like that on the 1 minute. But again, 1 minute's the 1 minute. Only time I really look at the 1 minute is to find entries, maybe. But yeah, we'll see here. We'll see. I mean, our next target here for XRP is going to be the all-time high. See if we can push up there. We'll keep an eye on it. We got our alert set. Do we have this alert set? Come on. Okay. I thought we had an alert set. But let's see. Y'all stuck in the wrong cycle. Shout out to Retro Mike Tech. We can take a look at Polkadot, no problem. Dinosaur, that's a dinosaur coin, but that doesn't mean it's not going to pump. That does not mean it's not going to pump. XRP, sounds like you should short right this second, right? Shout out to Wick589. I mean, hey, if I saw a short setup here, you do have some super low time frame bearish divergences. Let's see. 15-minute red dot confirmed. What's your money flow? Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see that 1 minute money flow coming out if we had that 15-minute red dot with some divergences, but see what happens. See what happens. Yeah, you could say that's a divergence, right? You have higher highs on your price action, but that's a pretty wonky div. Like, this is a pretty strong rip up. I'm not looking to fade this at the moment. Let's see. Dark Crash, welcome in, bro. Trying to get us to drink some water. I got Azteki and Cactus Moss water. I don't have any regular water today, Dark Crash. Thank you for keeping us all hydrated, though. I would not drink any water if it was not for Dark Crash. Let's see. Yo, Thesis said, bro, we have a 90-second bear div. You missed the top publicly. Yo, shout out to Thesis himself. You got to short those 90-second bear divs, guys. Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on here. All right. Why are you calling it a wonky div? Shout out to TaylorMade. To be honest, I mean, listen, technically it is a divergence, right? Price action coming up, at least here on the 30-minute, like you have a technical lower high in your momentum waves. If you print that red dot, like maybe it nukes, right? But when you get like an extremely strong move to the upside like this, I don't like to fade that strength, right? So just keep that in mind. Like this little bearish divergence that we had here, right? I like my divs to look nice and clean, right? Like this. You have like a nice, do we have it? Yeah. So you have like a nice little higher high on your price, right? You swing fail the highs here. You get your lower low on your price action, and then you get the dump ski. Again, that's not to say that this won't play out, but just with that big push up, hitting that major target, again, you know, this is resistance. Could you pull back? Absolutely. But for me, you know, I wouldn't really kind of classify. It is a divergence, right? It's a divergence between your price action, a discrepancy between your price action and your oscillator. So technically a bear div, but we'll see. We'll see. Did we, let me see something here, actually. I'm not going to be able to do this, but will we? Let me see here. Let me zoom in a bit. I actually have to turn on my price line here real quick. Scales, plus button, value line. Oh, there it is. I just couldn't see it. Oh, it's just much higher than I thought. Okay, yeah, I mean, listen. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you SFP this wick here, but it's hard. I can't find it on a relevant price, relevant time frame. So, yeah, I don't know. You know, not impossible for XRP to cool off, right? We obviously just got a pretty large move to the upside. But that's just not something I would really be interested in. Not that it won't pull back off that divergence. Really, like a divergence I would look at more likely would be like a daily bear div like this. So if we had that printing, you know, that would be a little bit more bearish in my opinion. But we'll see. Maybe that 30-minute bear div will wind up bringing us down. We'll see. But yeah, let's continue on here. The Nick Dunn said there is parental guidelines on watching Frankie in 2xp. Do not recommend. Shout out to Nick Dunn. Okay, let's see what we got going on. Do we have an alt list? Yo, Crypto Billy said, well, we like Dino coins. Look no further than XRP. Let's go. Yeah, hey, XRP, technically a Dino coin for sure. Yeah, Rob, I apologize if I keep missing your alt list, which probably is the case if I had to guess. Many of us are celebrating a 3-year anniversary following Frankie. January 15th. Is this when we... Tony D, is this the actual day that we started the channel? It might be. It might be. I think we started in January, and then we uploaded our first video in February, I believe. All right, let's continue on here. I will start taking a look at some of these. All right, let's take a quick look at DOT. Some people were looking, asking for DOT. Let's take a look here. So Polkadot, bada boom, right? Still within our, you know, accumulation volume profile. We came on down. We bounced off the golden pocket, bounced off the golden pocket, bounced off the golden pocket. But now we do. Yeah, no bullish divergence on the 2-day like we have on some coins, right? But we have the 3-day green dot. Let's check the daily. Daily green dot is confirmed. 4-day, potentially looking to print that green dot somewhat soon. Money flow, not really looking great here on the 4-day. But this could take a lot of time to kind of reverse. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. So, yeah, I mean, long term, you're just within your volume profile. We got below the value area high, could not get back above. We kind of bing-bonged around between the POC and the value area high. At this point, right, I'll be honest, you know, daily money flow, technically trending down. Let's check that 4-hour. Yeah, see, this 4-hour money flow is just, like, not coming up as much as a lot of these other coins. 2-hour money flow in the green. So that looks a little bit better. But again, this still looks a little overheated to me, right? You're in the overbought territory on Market Cipher B. So maybe you get some turbulence around here. I'd probably be more willing to hide the macro range here. Let's hide that macro range and then also grab all of this TA. Come on. And then drag it into our macro folder so we can hide it. And let's let me pull this little local volume profile here real quick. So yeah, I would say locally, there's that 886 in green. So yeah, I would say value area high 786. This would be a key level of resistance. And in terms of this volume profile, it is, and let me just draw this. Boom. Now I want to get rid of this line. This line is way too big. There we go. That's better. So yeah, locally coming into the golden pocket, I mean, it's structurally, it's in the same position as a lot of other things, right? We deviate below the local value area, we flip it to support, go to the POC, flip the POC. You're looking to come into the next targets here, which we're almost at. Golden pocket, sitting between 721 and 730, and then that second target is going to be sitting up here between the 786 value area high at 757 and 749. And then obviously that 886 is sitting up here closer to 775. But for me personally, right, based off my general settings, I really like to look at these two targets. So these are going to be the next targets on Polkadot, right? We're already kind of at this one. But second one is going to be kind of in this zone between 751 and 756, right? And within the volume profile, it looks like with two-hour money flow coming up, even if we get a cool-off, hopefully we could just continue that trend to the upside to hit these targets. So that's locally what I'd look at for Polkadot. And then, in the larger grand scheme of things, don't forget, let's hide this. If we lose our POC, that's where we're looking down towards that next major level of support. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'd be paying attention to these local levels as of right now. Right here, right? So let's see if we can come up and hit these targets. Money flow in the 2-hour looks good. Low time frame, probably looking for maybe a cool off here. We'll see. Unless things just start ripping and the TA just gets stepped on. Like, yeah, you're a little bit overbought, right? You know, you have to expect that low time frame turbulence. But let's see if we can get into that 786. 751 for DOT is the next major target once we get above that golden pocket. All right, let's see. BTC ripping. Let's go, baby. Let's go. $100,355 there. There we go. And hey, guys, this is why we say now that is finally, technically the final TP hit on the long position. However, this is why when you don't have those strong bearish divergences or entry signals for a short at the high here, right? Could have shorted here, would have gotten stopped out, right? When you don't have those strong signals, you do not take the short. I think I even, sometimes I write messages in the, yeah, there's a physical tap of the 886. Yeah, no short for me yet. Let's see if we can make it to the value area high because we did front run that value area high sitting right here, right? We front ran it by a couple pennies, but just like the 786, when it gets front ran, likes to get tapped. That value area high is very similar, right? We almost tapped it, but a lot of times that likes to physically get tapped. So there we are. And then that 15-minute bear div technically is, at least as of right now, not printing. Higher highs on your price action, but you really, like if you zoom in enough here, you don't have the lower high on your momentum wave. Now, if the red dot prints, this wave might be able to come down a little bit and form a divergence, but as of right now, it's not here. So for me, no signals, no short. Does that mean I'm going to miss the top? Maybe. But if I miss the top and there was no entry signal, I am totally fine with that. Now, if we look more into the medium time frame, yeah, 80-minute green dot. Trying to find some kind of bearish divergence here. 90-minute, nothing. 1 hour, green dot. Money flow thick in the green here. Yeah, I would like to see some settling down, even if we had to kind of consolidate up here, right? I would just like to get some better context for a potential short position. Only thing I can really see here, again, you have a fresh green dot. Money flow is thick in the green, so you got to be careful, but maybe we swing fail this high here. Maybe. In which case, I mean, you don't even really have a significant... Yeah, maybe you swing fail this. Again, no 15-minute bear div. For me, it's not there. Doesn't mean you can't come down, though. Let's check out the... let's check out exo charts real quick. We do have a single print above. Yeah, I mean... Let's see here. Yeah, I don't think, I'm going to let it settle. Even if we bing bong around here in range, we'll have time to potentially look for a short. But again, fresh green dot, money flow thick in the green. I'm going to see what happens. Let me actually see something here. Yeah, like we don't have dropping open interest on that wick to the upside. Yeah, no, it's the confirmations are not there. It doesn't mean you can't come down, but for me, the short confirmations that I like to see on a swing failure of a high like this, they're just not there. Doesn't mean you can't get a small, like, right, technically we, if you swing, it doesn't mean you can't come down, right? But I will just say, where's it, on the 1 hour, right? Like 1 hour SFP, this candle, you could come down, but for a really strong move, I like to see some specific confirmations here on XO charts. I'm not going to talk about them right now. We talk about that more in the premium Discord, but not really seeing it. Not really seeing it. This is somewhat volatile. And, market cipher B, typically with those SFPs, like you have real clear, wow, look at that. Look at the respect on that value area high. Insane. Yeah, like I would love to see, you have a little bit of an exaggerated bear div here on the 3 minute, but like your money flow is not confluent, right? Your money flow is going in the opposite direction. Will that matter or not? We'll see. Maybe this thing dukes to the floor right now. But I trade just solely based off true entry confirmations. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Definitely very volatile, though. I'll tell you that much. We'll see. Nice to see the value area high tap. Our target was tapped now, so see what happens. All right, let's continue on here. Shout out to Dave Digital. I don't know who you're answering, but he says you could use the RSI if you don't have Market Cipher B. That is 100% correct. If you don't have Market Cipher B to look for divergences or anything like that, you could easily use the RSI. If you check out the videos on the beginner series playlist on the channel, I show you guys what I look for to get into trades, and I also show you like all the indicators you can use. You don't have to use Market Cipher B. Obviously, Market Cipher B gives you an edge, in my opinion, just like Lux Algo or anything else you see us use here. But you do not need to have all these premium indicators or anything like that to get started trading. You can get started for free. The only money you would have to put up is money to get into the trades. All right, let's continue on. Let's see. All right. Frankie is a godfather. All visitors come to him. Shout out to Dave Digital. Let's go. All right, let's take a quick look at some other alts. Thanks for the info, man. Shout out to Plasma. No problemo, brother. We do this every single weekday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So subscribe to the channel and come chill with us every weekday at 5:45. I don't even know what's going on in chat right now. Shout out to Wig589. Jupiter, let's take a look at Jupe here. All right. So on Jupe, let's take a look here. We looked at this yesterday, I believe. Went down to the value area low, right? It didn't happen yesterday, but we were at the value area low just to give context, right? Break down below the high, get accepted back into the range, POC, lose the POC, go to the low. Bounce off the low, go to the POC, get above the POC. Could potentially make it to the value area high. Sitting right here at about 87.15. So, yeah, we'll see. If we could stay above this POC, could potentially, this is definitely going to be your next target. Could look at this as somewhat of a wonky inverted head and shoulders. But 87 cents essentially is going to be that next move for Jupe if we continue the upside. Once you break above that, if we pull up our VPVR, see what we got here. Yeah, you break above this level, could get a quick shot into that value area high. And then once you break above that value area high, you can see high volume node, high volume node. Price likes to stick to these high volume nodes and fly through the low volume gaps. So if we could get above here, you do have, a little level here at 90 cents, a little high volume node here at 95 cents. But for the most part, you do have somewhat of a gap here in volume. So if you get above this, could see price shoot up to the value area low at 99 cents pretty quickly. This is kind of what we were looking at yesterday. You'd expect some turbulence, but for the most part, the significant volume is up here and down here. So you get above that level, you could fly through that gap, and you could see that. Like, breakout here, quick move up. Break back into the gap, quick move down, right? Quick move down. Quick move up, quick move down, right? So that's typically how we see these low-volume gaps behave. Get above it. Could be looking up towards about 99 cents. Shout out to Ace of Hearts. Welcome in. Ace of Hearts 420. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you. Oh, my God. I don't know how to say that name, brother. I'm going to butcher this one. Yuito. Shout out to you, man. He said, just got my 1% for the day. Now to relax and sleep. Hi from Portugal. Shout out to everybody in Portugal out there. But, yeah, let me see. Batu had a position here. So we had a long entry at 83 cents. Let's see what that looks like. 83 cents. Okay, so I don't know exactly what I don't know what you were looking at to enter the trade. It'd be too hard to kind of communicate that through a chat. love to go to 1.7. Oh, you're looking to hold this to $1.70? Or all-time high. Is it more likely that the big two correct heavily and obliterate me? Current lick level is 75 cents. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this. This is, for me personally, Batu, not that you should be ashamed of this or feel bad about it. I mean, this is pretty much a long entry at the top, right? Now, I'm not saying this is the top, but I'm just saying when you enter long positions, for me, you want to be looking for those long positions as price comes to the downside, right? When price pumps, this is not necessarily where you want to be looking to enter. You would want to wait for some kind of retracement and get in on those red candles rather than entering after the pump is already happening. So does this mean that this can't play out? No, absolutely not. You could potentially rip up here. It's hard. I can't direct you exactly on how to take this trade or how to manage it. But for me personally, I would be looking for longs at key levels on moves to the downside. So for me personally, if I were in this, even like low time frame here, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, eventually, I do think that as long as you hold above this POC, you could make it up to the value area high. But you start losing this POC, you're pretty close to liquidation. So, take a look at the daily here. I'll try to give you the best information I can. Daily green dot confirmed. 2-day green dot is about to print. Also about to put in a 2-day bullish divergence, at least to your wicks. So, yeah, I would think 87 is probably likely somewhat soon, but you don't need much of a cool-off to get liquidated. So, for me personally, not that you should copy this. This is not financial advice. You have to make your own financial decisions. I can't tell you exactly where price is going to go 100% or how to manage your trade. But for me personally, I would probably close this, not because I think it's going to dump, but just I would look at this and be like, ugh, I entered as price was pumping. I probably shouldn't have done that. Let me get out. If it rips without me, that's totally fine. But I have to wait for a better entry here. So you could risk it for the biscuit, or you could get out and try to find a better entry. It's really, really hard to say. But I will say this, as far as your money flow goes, 10-hour money flow crossing into the greens. Check that 8-hour money flow crossing into the green. Yeah, I would feel I feel in danger in this trade, especially if my lick was at 75 cents. Because if you even went for this full retracement, yeah, this is down at about 75 cents. I mean, you're protected by the golden pocket. But yeah, it's really hard for me to guide exactly. I can't really tell people how to directly trade. But for me, I would look for a move to the value area high, but I wouldn't necessarily anticipate it to be a straight line. You could easily come down and cool off, cling to that POC a little bit before coming up. So I would probably personally close my trade and look for a new entry. However, not financial advice. You can't just copy someone on YouTube. But that's how I would handle it. So hopefully that helps you out, Batu. But that's really what I'd be looking at here moving forward on Jupe, guys. 87 cents. Break out of there. Look to go through the low volume gap at 99 cents. Flip that. Look for the bigger fill of that range. All right, let's see. Bulls looking strong today. Shout out to Flat Smack. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Let's check back in on Bitcoin real quick. All right, maybe we get the local. All right, we got the 15-minute SFP. Again, doesn't mean it's the top. Did this wind up printing a bearish divergence? Oh, man, it's so close. It's literally an exaggerated bear div, right? Exaggerated bear divs are not when you have lower highs on your momentum waves, but when you have equal highs. This is pretty much an equal high, so technically that's a bearish divergence into a key level. So maybe we can get the cool-off from here. We have hit that value area high. So we'll see what happens here on Bitcoin. But let's continue on. Did we ever get let's see. XRP is back to XR rip. Let's go. Shout out to Gen Z. Let's see. When do we see Jupe go to all-time highs? Let's go back and take a look, right? So pull up the higher time frames. I mean, listen, it's impossible to say like tomorrow or next week or next Tuesday is going to be where we see all-time highs, but I will say this, looking at the higher time frame levels here, looking at the higher time frame levels, I would say, I mean, your real level, you have a lot of work to do, right? Like, there's a lot of room to come up here. But really, the level I would look to break, like, once you break the 786 at 158, that's where I'd look to come to the all-time high. That's technically the invalidation level, right? Because we got the high, the lower high came in at the golden pocket. So, that's probably that last level. It's a little bit wonky, right? Like, this is more of a relevant level while you're up here. But now that we've gotten the full drop to the downside, yeah, I would say break this golden pocket 786 zone. That's where you see the visit of the all-time high. Probably going to get some kind of resistance on that all-time high, but once you break above it, that's where you see the bigger move to the upside. So yeah, that level is sitting again at $1.58. That's what I'd be looking at. All right, let's go ahead and drop some. Weenie says, "Stop putting money on Jupe." Shout out to people who hold Jupe. I do not hold Jupiter. Let's see. Jupe needs Soul to move. Soul not looking too shabby. Soul not looking too shabby. She pumping too. Let's see. Render. We could take a look at Render. Shout out to Plasma. Says, I'm still emotional when I trade. How do I fix that? Shout out to Plasma. If you are getting emotional in your trades, this is probably due. There's a few different reasons why this could happen, right? Number one, you might be trading with more money than you're willing to lose. But in my opinion, right, the most likely case is you're probably trading without a plan. When you take a trade, you should have calculated risk. Oh, Bitcoin getting a little pushed down. Not really. But I mean a little bit. But when BTCTA, shout out to Dark Crash. Alex says Slender. Is Slender a coin? Shout out to Crypto Billy. Thank you for the super chat. Said when Alex O wrench. Shout out to Crypto Billy. We have so many mods now. We're gonna have to. I think we probably have to wait. We probably have a ton, probably more than we need. We're probably gonna have to wait till we grow a little bit more. At 100K, we're probably gonna start adding some more mods. But it does get. It is getting. Alex says it's a slim render. Huh. XRP dumping. But shout out to Crypto Billy. Yeah, we're probably going to wait until we get to 100K for more mods. We have a ton of mods here, which is crazy because we started with 4. I think original Captain Kirk, Crypto Billy, Crypto Anon, and Tyler Durden. And D Petty Crypto as well. That was like original 5 mods. But we actually just made CVO a mod yesterday, so we have even more. Tony D said we're not giving out any more wrenches. That's it? Ever? Shout out to Tyler Durden. I mean, shout out to Tony D. But let's see. But yeah, 100K will probably add more mods. I guess it really depends on how crazy things get. More female mods. Shout out to Jay Violet. We only have 1 female mod. Shout out to shout out to Captain Kirk. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Sergeant Kirk now. But anyway, let's continue on. AIXBT is pumping. Shout out to Wick 589 said, we get it, Frank. You don't like Alex. I love you, Alex. I love you. We just have so many mods. It's really difficult. Alex, thank you for the super chat, bro. You did not have the super chat, Alex. He said, I don't need a wrench. You do your thing, Frank. You're crushing it. I expect a hug at Vegas 2025. That's all. Hey, shout out to Alex. You're going to be in Vegas, bro? I would love to give you a hug, bro, and just meet you in general. And shout out to Kelly Kellum yesterday talking about giving people hugs. I agree with that. Don't be weird. Give your friends hugs. But shout out to Alex. Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you. Let's see. Bears and Max Payne. Yeah, potentially. D Petty, who's that? Shout out to Nirvana. We haven't seen D Petty in a little while. Shout out to Wick. That's crazy, bro. I thought Phoebe was a mod. Phoebe is a mod, but Phoebe is like a real life mod. Phoebe is like, she's sitting here and she just holds a wrench in her hand. All right, let's see. Mr. Wickle said somebody should make a compilation of Frankie saying Yeah, we actually talked about that yesterday on Billy Goat Tales. I will challenge anybody to an competition. But anyway, let's continue on. Let's take a look at Tia here. This is another one a lot of people were worried about on that drop to the downside. Right to that value area low. Everybody gets scared on those value area lows, guys. And what happens? That is where you catch support and then run into the POC. Flip that POC. We could look for the fulfill of that range. So I'll be honest with you. You have the bullish divergences into your key level of resistance, which is that value area low sitting at 435. Higher lows on your momentum waves. Green dot printing. That is where we look for that next move up. So we'll see if we could get that money flow to not cross over into the red, because that's what we're getting right now. We got to yoink that back into the green, and if we do that, flip that POC, we could see another rotation of this value within our profile here. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at the daily. Daily green dot is confirmed. Daily money flow also coming up here. Not too bad. Not too bad. Still have a little bit of work to do here. Let's check that 2-hour money flow thick in the green. I would just be looking at this in terms of our volume profile, right? If we pull up the 4-hour, probably hitting against that golden pocket, that local golden pocket that everything is hitting right now. And there it is, right? We're on that golden pocket POC confluence. Break above that. 786 is the level to get above. I think the military, there's like military helicopters outside my house right now. But 540, get above that 786 at 540. That's where we look for the bigger move up. Very simply put. That's the invalidation of that local lower high, and that's where I would expect a continuation up towards that value area high. And we could just look at our profile here. Yeah, your volume starts to fall off there as well, so that could assist the move up, right? Quick move up equals quick move down equals quick move up. So I would say, come on in and crack these highs, get above that 786, look for that push up towards that value area high. And you could even, if you wanted to hide this macro range, let's get boom, boom, boom. I'm just going to put all this in a folder so I can organize it. And if you wanted to pull a local range, right, like we were doing on, I forget what coin it was, you could just pull this local consolidation. We're at that value area high. So you're at a confluent level of resistance here. So either way that you look at it, short-term or low-term, or short-term or long-term, this is still the zone to break, right? 540. Get above that 786. Let's see if we could fly through this little gap here, get some resistance, potentially starting at about 613. So that's what I would look at for TIA. Everybody gets scared towards the lows, guys. Those value area lows are key levels of support. This is why we do not FOMO short at value area lows. Let's see. Shout out to Dave Digital. Somebody call the police on Dave Digital out here. Saying crazy stuff. Oh, God. Tony D, we might have to ban that word. You know the word? That we might have to ban that, bro. It's a family-friendly stream, guys. Family-friendly stream. Render. Shout out to IKK Kevin. Shout out to you, bro. Let's take a look at Render. Do you think the low is in for alts or BTC may drop to 89K before January 20th? Really hard to just take a random hey, we're definitely going back to 89K. For me to just be like, no, guys, we're going to 89K before we go up. That's a really difficult thing to call for right now, especially sitting at the levels we're sitting at. The nice thing here is, like I said, the invalidation levels are pretty clear here. If we get above this golden pocket, probably coming up here. But for the most part, 104,000, it's really hard because we have all this resistance. If this resistance was not here, right? If all this resistance was not here, daily naked points of controls, weekly naked points of controls, if we did not have that up here, this 786 would 100% be the line in the sand, right? Sometimes the charts have clear levels, right? And sometimes you just have a messy situation. When we get up here, it's going to be simply a messy situation. But if we didn't have all those levels above, I would be looking at this as a very clear level. We get into these liquidations, very likely we see 104,300. And then once you get above here, that's the level you need to break to see all-time highs. But in that kind of story, you start pushing up, and then you realize that you have all those daily naked points of controls, weekly naked points of controls. I have them hidden right now. But you have a lot of resistance in here. So it's really hard to say, right? Because you could come up here, and then you break it, and it's like, yay, we're off to all-time highs. And then it's like, boom, 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 boom. You have all this heavy resistance up here. So we'll have to, assess the situation when we get up here. But if we wind up putting in a lower high, if we wind up rejecting this long-term, which it does look like we want to push above it, if we wind up putting the lower high in here, that's where I would expect, potentially, if we break the POC, let's say, right, this is the level. Right now, the level to get above is where we're at right now. If we're going to put in a lower high to continue this overall downtrend, this is the area to do it. Right up in here. If we wind up getting that and we get the break, once we break this POC, could be the open door to come down below 90K again. But even then, once you come down towards this value area low, it could just be a situation where you get another bounce off the value area low. But based off market structure here, if you put the lower high in here, the anticipation would be to break structure to the downside, hitting about 87,347. So it's really hard to call. It's really hard for me to just be like, no, we're definitely going to 89K. It's a really difficult call to make. But as of right now, let's work out here, see if we get the lower high. If not, we can look for that push up to this level, and then that'll just be complete mess up here. So we'll reassess the situation once we get up there. But let's see here. Yeah, Bitcoin just bing-bonging around here. See what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, let's continue on here. Who's RMT? Shout out to Deep Digital. You know RMT, Dave. Let's see. Mark after Monday, I'll have to tell the orange one. I don't know. What the heck? What the heck is going on in chat? Let's see. Can you check out H-bar? Where could the top be? I assume you mean long-term. Bull market top for H-bar. We could try to take a look at that for you. Who compares XRP with Bitcoin? The king. Shout out to Soul Surfing. Not me. Not me. Shout out to the RMTs in the chat. Shout out to Retro Mike Tech. But let's go ahead and continue on here. We took a look. Let's take a look at render. All right. Let's see. Okay, so we got the 786 retracement, which could have been the low. But right now, the roadmap is clear. I think Mrs. Candles might be creeping behind this door. But she just scares me on stream. But yeah, right now, doorway to higher prices, guys. We are approaching it. Doorway to higher prices, $7.77. $7.777. But yeah, 777 is that doorway to higher prices. Once we get above this level, guys, we tried to get up here, couldn't get accepted, got rejected. Once we get in here and hold support, that's what opens up the door to come to our next key level, which is very simply put, going to be the POC of that macro range, right? We got above here once, up to the POC, up to the high, got rejected again, deviated below the low. So it's the same thing. We're looking for that rotation of value up, rotation of value down, deviation. This is your undervalued asset, right? This is where you would hope that you could get above that value area low and then get that push into your POC of the range. That would be technically the next big target, which is also confluent with your golden pocket retracement. So if we could flip that 777 level to support, I would hope that we can get that push up into the golden pocket POC. Flip the POC, golden pocket, look to the 786. Once you break the 786, you can look for the value area high and potentially beyond. But other than that, this looks very similar to a lot of other things, right? Money flow coming up locally on the daily, but also trending down. 16-hour, trying to come up. Let's see here. What's the 8-hour looking like? 8-hour money flow back in the green. 1-hour money flow back in the green as well. Let's check that 4-hour. So, yeah, I mean, it does look like you can get some local turbulence, like everything else, right? You're a little bit overbought here. VWAPs are coming down. Red dot looking to print on the 1-hour. But, again, money flow is king. This money flow on the 1-hour and the 2-hour about to cross over into the green. This would make me anticipate potential higher lows and continuations to the upside. We'll see what happens. Get this wiggle to the downside. Look to hold that higher low. And then hopefully, really the big thing here is to flip that doorway to higher prices at $7.77. That is what opens up the door to higher prices, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens. So there you go. That's pretty much what I'll be looking at on render for the most part, guys. 2-day, looking to print that green dot. It is lagging behind some other coins here, but once you get that green dot, that could assist you in that move to the upside. I wish we had a cleaner volume profile up here. Like, if I go ahead, let me hide all this, or put it into a folder, rather. Like, if I'm just looking at this naked, right? Yeah, like, you could look at this volume profile. So I'll give you guys a little bit more of, like, a local context, even though this is somewhat of a wonky range, to be quite honest. But you can see you came and rejected that POC. Value area low, POC, value area high. This is probably, you have your lower range here, right? This is kind of your lower value area. They're right on top of each other. Rotation of value would look something like this. Bing bong around. Low, high, deviation, back to the low, back below the high, back to the POC, back to the low. So if we're looking to rotate our value, impulse out of here, look to fill this range in full. That's the local context. But to be quite honest here, I'd probably just be looking at the grander context. Break this massive level. Hold it as support. Look for the move into that macro golden pocket. Again, sitting at 966. All right, there we go. Let's see. What should we look at next? One of my favorite restaurants in Pensacola is called Crabs. What do they serve there? I wonder. All right, let's see here. Shout out to Guru, says you don't like to look at patterns like double tops, head and shoulders, etc. I will look at patterns like very similar to when we looked at XRP here. Where we at? Right? We looked at this as a potential bull pennant right? Now, in this context, or in this particular situation, this did actually trade very technically like a bull pennant would, right? Because, like, traditionally, the way you would look at this, like, even if you looked at it as like this was a fake out, traditionally you would look at this, wait for the coil up inside that bull pennant, breakout, retest of the high before coming back up. That is basically what you would look at. But I just don't trade patterns, right? You know, and there's a reason for that. Like, when I first started trading, I thought trading patterns were like, I was like, oh my God, this makes total sense. Like, when I see a bull pennant, I'll look for longs and it'd be easy, right? I just find this pattern and make a bunch of money. And the longer you actually wind up trading, the longer you realize that it's not that easy. So I don't trade patterns, but I do pay attention to them, right? This is a bullish continuation pattern. There is full legitimacy to a continuation pattern, but I just don't view them, or I just don't trade them, right? Like, I don't ever really wait for the breakout of a bull pennant and then long the neckline, or not the, I mean, I guess you can call it a neckline. I just don't trade them. But I do look at them as like, hey, this probably has a higher probability. Like, I would just look at this as bullish consolidation. I just don't trade patterns alone. If it was that easy, you could just use the trading view, right? Use the trading view patterns, right? And then just like just sit on the chart, wait for that thing to happen. It would just be too easy to make money. There's just so much more to the market than just looking for a pattern. And basically, trading patterns are a way to describe price action. It's not actually what moves the price, right? Price doesn't know it's in a bull pennant and it's going to break out, right? Price moves off of liquidity and buys and sells, right? And that's what I like to trade based off of. But again, a bull pennant like this would maybe give me a bullish bias. And I'll give you a specific reason on why I don't trade pennants, or why I don't trade just based off patterns. And the reason for it is, number one, it's not what moves the market, right? So if you have something like a bull pennant, here's some free sauce, right? If you have something like a bull pennant, right? Like, instead of looking at this being like, oh my God, this is bullish, I'm going to long it, right? You have to understand where the liquidity is in the market, right? Because if you see a lot of people, this is a retail trading strategy. So when people see this, a lot of people are just longing these lows. And when they long these lows, where is their stop loss going to be, right? Their stop loss is simply going to be below the lows, right? Or probably below the bull pennant, right? So, like, all their stop losses are going to be sitting here, right? Maybe even lower, right? So if you have a lot of liquidity sitting below, and this is a long bias pattern, and you have a ton of people entering longs here, all their stop losses are going to be low, right? This means, right, if you understand that liquidity is here and you understand that liquidity acts as a magnet for price, oftentimes what you'll see on bull pennants is a fake out to the downside, right? Everyone's like, oh my God, bull pennant didn't work out. And then you get a fast rip to the upside. A lot of times bull pennants will do that. They'll either sweep you to the lows and then play out, or the opposite will happen depending on where the liquidity is sitting. Sometimes, come on, there we go. Sometimes you'll get a fake out to the upside. Everybody's like, oh my God, it's breaking out. The bull pennant's working, only to get a fast reversal to the downside. And I even show a really good example of this on Bitcoin, where we were able to identify a short squeeze incoming. Where was it? Right here, right? Where, sure, right, you had some kind of a bull pennant here, but we knew, based off where the liquidity was sitting in the market, that this was likely going to be a short squeeze, so we were able to take advantage of that short squeeze. But look what happened here. You get the push up, and then eventually you just continue back to the downside, right? So this is like a bull pennant fake out, and the reason that faked out, and again, it's not that we don't take advantage of those bull pennants. We knew there was liquidity up here that was going to get swept, and we were able to take advantage of that, right? We spotted it on coinalyze.com, which is a free tool where you can kind of see, you can look at the CVD where you can kind of see short squeezes building. I'm not going to get into it, but sometimes you'll just see the fake out. It'll be like, boom, and then it just fakes right back out to the downside. And this is why I don't trade trading patterns alone. But when I see this and I say, hey, this is a bullish pattern, I know that we could have a short squeeze building by looking at other things in the market. I'm not seeing this saying it's going to come up. I'm looking at this being like, let me see what the CVD is doing. You see that there's a short squeeze building, but short squeezzes aren't really bullish, right? They're more just a pop to the upside that oftentimes get eaten back up. So, I wouldn't have anticipated this to be a big continuation to the upside like a lot of people expect bull pennants to be. But it all has to do with understanding where the liquidity lies in the market. So, simple answer, I do look at patterns. I just don't trade solely based off them. There's way more to trading and way more to the market than just patterns. Now, if you're out there trading patterns alone and you're profitable and you're making money consistently, don't change anything, right? Just because I don't do it doesn't mean you can't do it. If you're making money, you got to do what makes you money. So that's why I don't trade them. I've tried for a very long time and realized, like, oh, I guess it's not that easy. That makes sense. But it doesn't mean they're useless. I definitely pay attention to them. All right. Let's see. Okay. Thank you. Perfect explanation. Bing bong. Shout out to Guru. Let's go, baby. Hopefully that makes sense for you. All right, let's see. How we doing on time here? Oh, baby. We're running out of time. Frankie, can you help me with ETH? It's dumping. Yeah, we're coming into resistance, getting the pullback. So, yeah. I mean, come up in the golden pocket. Spider line. Did you get the... Yeah, you didn't get the bearish divergence. Bitcoin pulling back a little bit too. Kind of just wailing around, to be honest. But let me see something on... Let's see something here. So we are back in this kind of local volume profile. Yeah, you do have some bearish CVD here. So I will say this, right? Where are these single prints bring you down to? About 97,529. Let me see something. Whoops. 97. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this. This just reinforces this level as support. If we get a bigger pullback here, guys, assuming this is not going to be the tippy top and we're going to nuke down to 90K, and we're just going to get some kind of a pullback, there is reason to see that pullback bring us down to this golden pocket. Now, again, you have a little bit of that exaggerated bull div here, or bear div on the 15-minute. Not the strongest, but it is there. See that 1 hour green dot is now gone. Money flow still thick in the green, though. But if you see this continue down, you do have those single prints leading you right into that 97.5 zone. Right into this blue box, right? Where those actually start. 98.5 to 97.5. Mark that out. 98.5. Right below those lows to 97.5 about, right? So you do have these single prints sitting here. Now, the single prints, the heck? There we are. So these single prints, guys, once you break into single prints and get accepted into them, this is typically where you see a quick drop down on price. But again, this would be into a golden pocket 786, which we could bounce off of. But we have to be careful because if you lose that POC, it would at least open the door to this 95,530. But at that point, right, you're essentially below your POC. This does somewhat put you at risk of continuing down to the bottom of your range. Excuse me. But the first kind of golden pocket, local Fibonacci retracement that I would hope to hold would be this golden pocket. And those single prints, I almost said SFPs, those single prints could give you that quick drop into that 786 point of control. And that's your first major key level of support. Once you break down below that, I wouldn't say that it's definitely over, at least, for the full rotation of the range. But I will say, get below that POC. Oftentimes, it does give you a continuation down to the low. Same thing we looked at here. Get below the high, look for price to go down to the POC. Reject that POC, look for that continuation down to the value area low. So keep that in mind. And again, we are overheated, right? Like we were saying at the beginning of the stream, 4 hour red dot printing yet. Come on, dang it. Print here. I will say this, guys. If we cool off to these levels, this is definitely in the cards. If we get that 4 hour red dot, 15-minute money flow, if it finally comes over into the red, that could give us that cool off into that key zone of support. So yeah, that 4 hour red dot is probably going to be the thing if we start printing it to give us that first cool off. But again, up until we lose that POC, I would be treating any shorts that I take up here as potential scalp positions to look for a continuation to the upside. And then if we come down and we lose the POC, that's where you see the bigger move down. So I don't want to beat the dead horse. But if you missed the Bitcoin TA, guys, go to the beginning of the stream. We did cover it in full. Let's see. Did everybody already hit the like button? No? Did you buy AIXPT? No? 100 push-ups. It's up 4.3% in the last 11 and a half minutes. Shout out to Mark Dutch. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Smash that like button, guys. What are we at? What are we at here? Probably have like 17 likes. 559, baby. Let's run it up, guys. On the count of 3, smash that like button. I'm going to chug this Aztec King Cactus Small Sweater. In the next, on 3, smash that like button. Let's run it up to at least 650. 1, 2, 3. Smash that like button. 571. Let's get it to 550. And maybe we'll even play a little music. Let's get it.
Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Yeah, shout out to Extreme
Look,
Vision.
I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and read it, you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak.
Almost there.
Talk about that good, so I
6-12,
just hit you
baby.
with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the piece. You gon' see the flex when you hear these written.
Come on,
Trust me, you know the
6-14.
difference.
Smash it.
I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed.
All right, I'm bored. All right, let's continue on here, guys. Shout out to Extreme Vision. Said this scammer is still scamming. I don't know how I would scam. I don't even know. I don't push any projects. I don't have any meme coins. There's nothing to scam. That's crazy. If you're looking at me and saying that I'm a scammer, that is wild. You are being misled, my friend. But anyway, let's see here. Jay, lol, I'm bored. Yeah, no, let's get back to the TA here, guys. But we are running out of time, so let's see. We're almost there. 6:35. I think we could run it up to 6:50. Oh, yo, Jay like the alphabet. Shout out to Plasmon. Yeah, they know the songs, baby. Let's get it. Yeah, it's Jay like the alphabet is the name. It's not the name of the song, but I think that is the name of the artist. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% sure the name of the song, to be honest with you. All right, let's continue on here. All right, AIXPT. This is let's take a look at it. All right, so let's see here. What did we look at? When did we look at this? Did we look at this? I think we looked at this either yesterday or the day before. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think we looked at this yesterday. But simply put, right, we had our, actually, hang on. This is old. We might have looked at a different chart. Let me see something real quick. AIXBT. No, I think that was it. But either way, this is an old fib. Whoops. Come on. Hang on. Am I tripping? Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, I was looking at the wrong thing here. So this is, okay, yeah. So there you go. Move through our volume profile, flip that to support. Once you break that all-time high, this happened yesterday. Yeah, so this is what we were looking at yesterday. This thing is just ripping. That's what's going on here. I'm like, I couldn't have gone that fast. But yeah, there you go, right? Once you get above that value area high, 786 retracement, right? That's the last opportunity you have to get that rejection. Once you flip that to support, you look to come up to the all-time high, flip that. Once you break the all-time high, typically you do see resistance, which I guess we did see. A little hit your head. Once you break above it, next target is that Fibonacci extension, sitting at 74 cents. Once you break above that, next target sitting at about 79 cents. I guess we hit that kind of. With that last target where we're sitting at right now at about 85 cents. So at this point, you've hit all three of these first Fibonacci extension targets. I mean, if this thing keeps going, in case this thing keeps going, I'll just mark out this, what do you call it? This next little target here, which would be sitting between about $1.05 and $1.16. Boom. That's what I'd be looking at. If you continue up, that's your next major target. But yeah, I was like, how old is this chart? This just all happened today. That's crazy. So yeah, I mean, these Fibonacci extension targets are pretty intense, right? It's kind of the whole narrative of this live stream, right? The Bitcoin target at 100K got hit. The XRP target got hit. These Fibonacci extension targets are powerful. So, it wouldn't be impossible to cool off here, but if this thing just wants to keep YOLOing to the upside, there's not much analysis I can do on this price action. We'd have to wait for some kind of consolidation, or we just need price to kind of chill out a little bit before we can figure out what's going to happen next year. But if it keeps ripping, this is where I'd be looking at. $1.16 to $1.05. If you cool off, kind of hard to say, to be honest with you. I mean, if you pull your local retracements, yeah, it's like kind of, it's kind of just like back on these extension levels, right? Like once you lose this, that's where you could potentially come back down to your value area high. But yeah, it's kind of hard. Like you can't really analyze this just like aggressive grind to the upside. So yeah, if you hold your trend here though, man, maybe you can come and hit these. We'll see. I'm going to set some alerts here because if this gets hit, I want to know about it. Let's see here. Boom. Oh my God. Whoops. Oh my God. AIXBT flying. Boom. All right, we'll see. We'll see if we hit that. But yeah, local lower time frame. Yeah, just really hard to analyze here with just this grind. So, yeah, those are the key levels for the most part. On the way to the downside, even if I hide this extension, maybe it'll clean it up, be a little easier to look at. Gets hard, man. It's hard. There's so many fibs that you can pull here. The full fib, really, like, the significant levels of support is really down here in the volume profile. But other than that, those local fibs are really hard to pull because you can pull them from so many areas. This would be the most significant one based off your higher lows, which, again, just comes back in on this zone. So, yeah, I mean, these will lack that support on the way back down. So maybe we come down, cool off here, get the higher low, come into our next target. Kind of hard to call this to the dollar, but if you get the bigger breakdown, that's really key support. Let me change this to blue, and let me get rid of, get rid of this 786 in the golden pocket. Boom. 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 All right, there we go. So, yeah, those are the key levels of the downside. Pretty simple, right? All-time high, previous value area. Other than that, you're just looking at your Fibonacci extension levels. Breakout, next target, sitting up here. So there you go, guys. Shout out to Texas Twister, said, the only scamming Frankie is doing is promising Mrs. Candles with a party candle and then pulls out a wick. Yo, shout out to Texas, bro. That's crazy. Yeah, it's wild, guys. I've had some, like, crazy allegations. Like, one time on Twitter, I've said this before. One time on Twitter, somebody, I made a video on Sui, and someone was like, made a whole thing, like, connecting all these dots that I was the creator of Sui. I'm like, dang, man, someone spent a lot of time doing this, and I'm just looking at it like, that's crazy. You think I'm the creator of Sui? That's wild. But, yeah, I don't promote meme coins, guys. If you ever get hit up by anybody saying that, oh, buy Frankie Candles meme, I don't have a meme coin. I don't promote projects. If I ever do promote a project and get paid for it, I would fully disclose it, but I don't even do that. For that reason, right? Like, this space is filled with not great people, right? Like, there's a lot of good people, too, obviously. You guys know who we associate with, but there's, like, a lot of, like, shady stuff in crypto. Crypto, in general, is just, like, a shady place. It's easy to scam people. The rug pulls are constant. But, yeah, I don't do anything that we could scam. All right, let's see. Shout out to Tony D. Said, guys, big news. I have something in my car. It's for Frankie. Can anyone guess what it is? Oh, God. Shout out to Tony D. Are you on your way to the studio right now? Let me know, because I'm about to wrap it up. But if you're coming here with a present, maybe we'll keep it going. Let me know. Or are you going to bring it over tomorrow? Let me know. Let me know. A bag of greens. Like salad? Shout out to Harry. A chair. Guys, why would we? Okay, Diggity said, oh, my God, it's time. It's time. Yeah, we'll see, guys. Tony D, Tony, let me know if you're, like, in the car. Tony Ross says, a new scam coin. Let's see. Thank you for your time, brother. Shout out to Jen Friend. Said, and no, my friend, I'm not a lawyer. Oh, shout out to Jen Friend. I was wondering that. Is law just your last name? Let me know. You guys are crazy. Oh, Harry, you're talking about broccoli farts. Interesting. I'm kidding. That's actually pretty funny, though. Do I think we're breaking down? Yes, I think it's going to 0. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, we hit major resistance, right? He said, I'll bring it tomorrow. I don't think it's a chair. Shout out to Tony D. Wow, that's going to be the upset of a lifetime here for the Candle Mafia. A patch kit for Mrs. Candles, guys. Hang on one second. Frankie's gonna dump BTC by getting a new chair. Yo, I hope not. If that's gonna be a new signal, guys, I haven't spilled any Red Bull recently. I haven't found any lost dogs. If you ever hear Frankie Candles found a lost dog, ran out of gas, or spilled a Red Bull, the market is about to dump. Run for the hills. But guys, Mrs. Candles is not doing good. Mrs. Candles, come on over here. Ah, poor thing. She can't even walk. Hang on, guys. Mrs. Candles is not doing good, guys. Hang on. Mrs. Candles is not doing good, guys. She's still repping her merch, guys. She's still repping the Mafia merch. But Mrs. Candles is not doing good. It's okay, Mrs. Candles. I'm going to blow you back up. I promise. I love you. I love you, Mrs. Candles. It's okay. She's going to be okay, guys. It's okay, Mrs. Candles. Well, anyway. But, guys, with all that being said, or is it? Shout out to Tony D. Jay Edits, what is going on, bro? Thank you for the super chat. He says, can the Jupe TA tell us anything about the likelihood of dump after the airdrop next week? I'll take a quick look at that. Quick answer. Very hard to predict. But I will say, like locally, depending on how quickly and if we're able to get up to this value area high, I will say this. If the airdrop were to happen at key resist, I mean, here's the thing, right? Obviously, you have to keep things like this in mind. But for me personally, I trade the charts because whether you're going to get a dump or a pump based off news or an air, whatever it is, right? Typically, the signals are on the charts. So me personally, my simple answer to that, Jay Edits, is I would simply just be paying attention to the charts and knowing when that airdrop comes. Like, you know, I would just be looking. If I'm seeing like real bearish signs on the airdrop or bullish signs, whatever it is, that's what I would trade, regardless of what's happening. If the chart looks bullish and we got bearish news, I'm going to long it, right? If we got bullish news and the chart looks bearish, very similar to what we saw happen on the Bitcoin ETF approval, right? We got the approval, but this chart was a clear short for a 20% jump to the downside. So it really depends. Like, this was super bullish, but the charts were bearish, so we were looking for the short, right? And then everyone was super scared, and we actually took that $40,000 long all the way up to 75 grand. So I know that's not probably the answer you were looking for, but we did do full Jupiter TA. If you want to check that out, you'll have an idea of what I'm expecting moving forward. Just scrub until you see Jupe pop up on the screen. But hopefully that helps you out, guys, or helps you out, Jay Edits. I know it's probably not the answer you were looking for. But yeah, just trade the charts. I simply trade the charts. Okay, Diggity said, poor girl. Mrs. Candles, blink twice if we should call for help. She's fine, guys. Shh. Stop. Anyway, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. But with all that being said, guys, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out and causing a ruckus in the Frankie Candles chat. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you guys for being here. And we'll see what happens. Shout out to Frankie, said, Sui because you're an angel investor. I hold Sui, but I don't even really hold a significant amount of Sui. And I was not an angel investor in Sui. But yeah, let's see. Thanks, Frankie. Great day. Shout out to Brock. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel on the way out. And yeah, we'll see if we get that dump from this key resistance level, guys. But nice to see that target tapped. Just remember, this 786 is a key level of resistance that we do not want to get a big dump from. But now you guys have those local key levels of support where we'll be looking for a bounce. And if we lose that POC, that's where we could see that bigger drop to the downside. But I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. I'll see you here, same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. Have a great night. Go touch some grass. That's all I got. I got to go blow up Mrs. Candles. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Don't die on me, Mrs. Candles. You're gonna live. You're gonna live. Sorry, guys. This is awkward. I gotta do something really important, guys. I gotta go. Asta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to